Marshall Peak, Chapter 4761. What are his intentions? Inside the Grand Hall, Li Yuan Wang held a steaming cup of tea in his hands. Blowing on his tea, he took a sip and swallowed with a gulp. It was a blissful feeling. One of the three vice sect masters, Gao Ting, glanced sideways at Li Yuan Wang. Sect master, doing this. Aren't you going overboard? Li Yuan Wang had sent a message to all the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters. Gao Ting herself had also received the message, in which the contents were written as clear as day. Voidland's Lord, Yang Kai, displayed extremely defiant and arrogant behavior recently. Not only did he come to Lang Ya Paradise and cause trouble, but his actions also greatly disgraced the main sect. Therefore, I order all the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise to capture him quickly. There are no limits on the means or number of people involved. Moreover, anybody who has a hand in capturing Yang Kai will be rewarded with an opportunity to train in the Five Lights world. Gao Ting had been stunned upon seeing this message. This entire farce started out as a small misunderstanding between the disciples. In addition, Yang Kai had remained hidden somewhere to avoid the limelight over the past few days. The Open Heaven Realm Masters pursuing him earlier were beginning to return to their positions and resume their duties, so it seemed that this farce was about to come to an end. Who could have known that Li Yuan Wang would make a move at such a critical moment? How could the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise ignore the Sect Master's orders? What's more, the prize at the end was the opportunity to enter the Five Lights world. At this rate, all the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise would participate. Even the Seventh Order Open Heaven Realm Masters and the Fifth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters might get involved. How is it going overboard? It's perfect. Li Yuan Wang continued drinking his tea without even raising his head. Gao Ting sighed. Sect Master, the situation is getting out of hand. I'm afraid it won't end well. It will be fine. Li Yuan Wang smiled and waved his hand dismissively. In fact, it would be best if things got out of hand. We can take advantage of the ruckus to catch a bigger fish. Upon hearing this, Gao Ting looked pensive and nodded after a moment. I understand your intentions now, Sect Master. Pausing slightly, he continued with a question. But, Sect Master, are you sure you are not using official matters to exact your personal revenge? You should know that the rumors are just a misunderstanding, right? Li Yuan Wang chuckled. Of course, I know. Don't you think I understand what kind of person Panna is? Gao Ting looked at Li Yuan Wang speechlessly. If you didn't grit your teeth and look like you were about to tear someone apart when you were saying those words, I might have believed you. You're clearly using this opportunity to get your revenge. It was true that the sect master knew that the rumors were just a misunderstanding. Nevertheless, such rumors were damaging to Ji Pan's reputation. It was only natural that he wanted to teach that brat a lesson. Li Yuan Wang suddenly became serious. I did this for two reasons. The first reason is that I want to muddy the waters further so that boy can work easily. The second reason is that I want the Lang Ya Paradise disciples to know what it means to always have somebody better than them out there. Gao Ting spoke against his conscience. Sect Master is indeed wise. In that case, let us wait for good news. Beneath the huge lake, Yang Kai calmly lurked in his hiding place. He could no longer sense the auras of the Open Heaven Realm Masters passing overhead recently, so the storm was probably over. Even so, he did not reveal himself so quickly just to be on the safe side. He planned to remain in hiding for a few more days. However, all of a sudden, a large group of people radiating tyrannical energy fluctuations suddenly passed by overhead. Their divine senses were spread out into the surroundings, searching every corner of the area. Yang Kai's brow furrowed at the sight as these people were clearly searching for him. Why are they so persistent? This is so annoying. He was secretly glad that he did not reveal himself so rashly, or he would have faced another round of trouble. Hence, he continued to wait in hiding. Yang Kai soon realized that something was wrong though. Logically speaking, he had remained in hiding for so many days now that the Lang Ya Paradise disciples should have given up on their efforts by now. There were no life or death grudges between them after all. Even if he beat up a few people, they had returned just as many hits, therefore, they could be considered even. Those who could cultivate to the sixth order open heaven realm were not petty and small-minded people who would go around recklessly forming blood feuds. In fact, there was a chance that they might become friends after exchanging blows. Who could have known that Lang Ya paradise would be so persistent? That was not all. The storm that had gradually subsided suddenly took a turn for the worse, and even more people began to search for traces of his whereabouts. Above the lake, various powerful auras would pass by from time to time. Moreover, they traveled in groups ranging from 2 to 5 people. Most importantly, every single one of them was in the sixth order open heaven realm. What is going on? Yang Kai was absolutely confused. After giving some thought to the situation, he took out a communication bead to ask Ji Pan about the current situation. He had the means to communicate with Ji Pan thanks to their interactions over the past few days, so his divine sense surged, and he sent the message out. Inside the bamboo building, Ji Pan looked at the siblings, Gongsun Ri Hua and Gongsun Yu Hua, and begged, "Senior brother Ri Hua, senior sister Yu Hua, please let me go." Gongsun Ri Hua and Gongsun Yu Hua shook their heads in unison. Gongsun Yu Hua said, "We can't, junior sister. Our duty is to watch over you carefully and stop you from meeting that brat, lest you suffer losses again." Ever since Ji Pan was kidnapped by these siblings, the two of them had remained beside her without taking a single step away all this time. At present, she couldn't even take a step out of this bamboo building, much less inquire about Yang Kai's news. Therefore, she was completely clueless as to what was happening to Yang Kai these days. It was just that there had been powerful energy fluctuations recently, but these energy fluctuations soon disappeared. After that, large groups of senior brothers and senior sisters had formed teams to search the area. In particular, the area around her spirit province was carefully searched. Many senior brothers and senior sisters would come to investigate from time to time. Hearing Gongsun Yu Hua say this, Ji Pan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Senior sister Yu Hua, there really is nothing going on between senior brother Yang and I, won't you just trust me this once?" Gongsun Yu Hua replied, "It's not that I don't trust you, but that boy has provoked public outrage and humiliated our fellow brothers and sister. We need to find him and take revenge to regain our honor. Besides, the sect master." Gongsun Ri Hua suddenly coughed lightly, and Gongsun Yu Hua hurriedly fell silent. Ji Pan looked from one to the other and suddenly felt an ominous feeling. What happened with honored master? "It's nothing. Aha, ha. Junior sister, don't worry." Gongsun Ri Hua waved his hand hastily. At that moment, Ji Pan's expression changed. "Senior brother, senior sister, I want to take a bath. Why don't you stand down for a bit?" The siblings exchanged a glance with each other before Gongsun Yu Hua said, "Then, we'll be outside. If you behave well, I'll make something delicious for you later." If Ji Pan wanted to take a bath, then there was no reason for them to stay in the same room. Ji Pan nodded. When the siblings departed though, she closed the room door and set up a barrier. Only then did she take out a communication bead. Unfortunately for her, before she could immerse her divine sense to investigate the message, a slender, jade-white hand suddenly reached out from the side to snatch the communication bead from her. Startled, she looked up only to see Gongsun Yu Hua smiling at her. Gongsun Yu Hua reached out a hand and rapped her knuckles on Ji Pan's head. "Junior sister Ji Yu, I can't believe you've learned to lie to this senior sister now." Ji Pan was stunned. "Senior sister, didn't you leave the room?" Gongsun Yu Hua smiled and held up the communication bead. "Is this the communication bead to contact Yang Kai?" "No, senior sister. Please return it to me." Gongsun Yu Hua shook her head. "If it's a communication bead to contact him, then I can't return it to you." "I'm sorry, junior sister Ji Yu." While they were speaking, Gongsun Ri Hua entered the room. The siblings seemed to be connected in mind. She tossed the communication bead to her big brother and stopped Ji Pan from acting out. Then, Gongsun Ri Hua sat down and poured his divine sense into the communication bead to probe the message contained inside. A short while later, he raised his head and said, "It's him." Gongsun Yu Hua asked, "What did he say?" He replied, "He is asking junior sister Ji Yu about the situation in Lang Ya paradise. It seems that he is hiding very deeply, so he doesn't know what has been happening outside recently. Ask him where he is. He nodded lightly. With a surge of his divine sense, he sent out a message. Beneath the lake, Yang Kai waited quietly for a moment. When he sensed a return message from Jiyu Pan, he quickly checked it. However, his expression immediately became strange. After pondering in silence for a bit, he replied to the message with one of his own. Inside the bamboo building, the communication bead fluctuated slightly. Gongsun Ri Hua hurriedly checked the message, but he soon scratched his head in confusion. What is he saying? What's wrong? Gongsun Yu Hua looked over suspiciously. Jiyu Pan also looked nervous. She was worried that Yang Kai might expose his whereabouts because he was unaware of the situation. With an affectionate look on his face, Gongsun Ri Hua slowly recited, "The mountains are picturesque, but they cannot compare to the small mole between your brow. It doesn't matter even if the world is overturned, after all, it's nothing but transient prosperity compared to you." Gongsun Yu Hua snapped with a dark expression, "I am your little sister. Who do you think you are talking to?" He quickly explained, "That's what he said." Jiyu Pan was extremely surprised. "Senior brother Yang said that?" "That's right." Gongsun Ri nodded repeatedly. Gongsun Yu Hua glanced teasingly at Jiyu Pan, and, "You said that there's nothing between the two of you when he is spewing such cringeworthy words. Although this brat's character isn't anything good, it seems he has a sweet tongue. Junior sister, you're too naive. No wonder you were deceived by him." Jiyu Pan only wore an odd look on her face as she asked, "Senior brother Ri Hua, what did you say to Yang Kai earlier?" Gongsun Ri Hua replied casually, "Nothing much. I just asked how he was doing. I didn't dare to ask where he was, for fear of alerting him." "What were your exact words?" Jiyu Pan demanded. He scratched his face apologetically, "That's the gist of what I meant." "The exact words." Gongsun Yu Hua also pressed for an answer with a curious look. Gongsun Ri Hua cleared his throat, "Are you okay, senior brother Yang? Did you get hurt?" Jiyu Pan breathed a sigh of relief. Gongsun Yu Hua nodded and said, "That's nothing." Gongsun Ri Hua continued, "Xiao Panna, who deeply misses you." Jiyu Pan's face instantly turned beet red, and she stomped her feet angrily. "Senior brother Ri Hua, I'm going to ignore you in the future." "What did I do wrong?" Gongsun Ri Hua didn't seem to understand. Gongsun Yu Hua pondered for a moment and shook her head. "There's nothing wrong with that, right?" "Oh, there's another message." Gongsun Ri Hua exclaimed and hurriedly checked the message. "What did he say this time?" Gongsun Yu Hua asked quickly. "He said, 'Enter my heart, Seong Sai sect, to understand the bitterness of my lovesickness, Seong Sai. In the long term, my lovesickness, Seong Sai, is forever. In the short term, my lovesickness, Seong Sai, is infinite.'" "Huh? Which sect is this Seong Sai sect?" Gongsun Ri Hua looked confused. "Moran." Gongsun Yu Hua smacked her big brother mercilessly. "Those are flirtatious words. TSK, TSK, TSK. This brat's mouth is as sweet as honey. Junior sister Jiyu, be careful of men like him. Men with honeyed words cannot be trusted." Jiyu Pan sat on the edge of the bed, too exhausted and exasperated to explain anything. Nevertheless, she felt a little at ease. Seeing as senior brother Yang was answering in such a manner, then he must have noticed something was off, otherwise, he would never be so frivolous. Marshall Peak, Chapter 4762, Don't ever lower your head. "How should we reply to him?" Gongsun Ri Hua asked. "I'll do it." Gongsun Yu Hua volunteered and took the communication bead from the hands of her big brother. After pondering in silence for a while, she sent out a message with a surge of her divine sense. Deep beneath the lake, Yang Kai held the communication bead between his fingers. He raised his brow at the message and murmured softly to himself, "Compared to a night of lovesickness, even the ends of the world are not vast enough to convey this loneliness. Who is this?" He could be certain that Jiyu Pan's communication bead was no longer in her possession, otherwise, she would never have spoken in such a manner. Nevertheless, he was not worried for her safety. She was a Lang Ya Paradise Corps disciple. Even if she had been kidnapped by a pair of twins previously, Lang Ya Paradise's main purpose was to separate him from her. They had no intention of harming her. To think they even tried to contact me by imitating Gu Pan. Whilst he was feeling speechless, the communication bead received another message. Senior brother, where are you? I'll come and find you. Yang Kai smacked his lips. I guess they couldn't resist asking about my whereabouts. After briefly considering his answer, he replied to the message. Inside the bamboo building, Gongsun Yuhua announced excitedly, found him. Gongsun Ri Hua quickly asked, where is he? She shook her head, he doesn't know his exact location either. There are countless spirit provinces in Lang Ya Paradise, so he does not know the name of the one where he is hiding. Even so, he gave us some clues. Gongsun Ri Hua grinned, it'll be easy with clues. Pass the information to our fellow brothers and sisters and ask them to split up to search for him. I'm sure we'll find him soon. Nodding in agreement, Gongsun Yuhua quickly passed the message on to the others. Inside Lang Ya Paradise, the Open Heaven Realm Masters who formed teams to search for Yang Kai's whereabouts suddenly received a communication from the Gongsun siblings. They immediately became overjoyed after reading this message. Although the clues provided were not comprehensive, it was still better than how they were forced to wander around like headless flies right now. As long as they focused their search around the clues, they would eventually discover Yang Kai's hiding place. Many Open Heaven Realm Masters instantly began searching with all their might. In just half a day, they found a spirit province that was very similar to what was described in the clues. The first team to discover the place was led by senior brother Zhao, who was previously severely injured by a single cow punch from Yang Kai. Senior brother Zhao stared at the spirit province in front of him with some hesitation. It can't be, right? Is he hiding here? Another 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Master on the team spoke through gritted teeth. That brat is treacherous indeed. I can't believe he was hiding here. It's no wonder we failed to find him even after all this time. At this time, several other teams also arrived here in their search. It was obvious that they had been following the clues. Everybody looked at each other with slightly speechless expressions. That couldn't be helped. The spirit province in front of them belonged to the sect master. The sect master had an extremely hectic schedule, so he spent most of his time at the main conference hall located on the central spirit province. Although he rarely returned to his residence, there was no doubt that this spirit province belonged to him. Under normal circumstances, nobody would dare to come here for no reason. Should we inform the sect master? Somebody asked tentatively. That brat is as cunning as a fox. I'm sure he noticed the commotion when we rushed over. If we take the time to inform the sect master, he will surely escape. Let's take action first and talk later. Once we capture the thief, the sect master will not blame us. That's true. In that case, let's begin. Senior brother Zhao shouted and took the lead to charge towards the spirit province. Everybody else quickly followed closely. More than a dozen 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters swarmed into the spirit province in an instant as their divine senses spread out unscrupulously, searching for traces of anything suspicious. A short while later, even more Open Heaven Realm Masters who received the information rushed over. It was not just the 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters, but also the 5th Order and even 4th Order Masters who had joined in. Even though Li Yuan Wang only sent the message to the 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters, this matter was a raging topic in Lang Ya Paradise, so it was only natural for the news to spread quickly. Upon learning that capturing Yang Kai would give them the opportunity to enter the Five Lights world for training, even the 5th Order and 4th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters wanted to try their luck. They could not dismiss the chance that they might be lucky enough to obtain that opportunity despite knowing that it was impossible for them to compete against Yang Kai. It was the opportunity to enter the Five Lights world for training. Normally, only 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters had the qualifications to obtain the rights to entry. In less than an hour, over 1,000 Open Heaven Realm Masters had gathered in the Spirit Province. Li Yuan Wang's Spirit Province was not considered a restricted area in Lang Ya Paradise, but few people generally came here, therefore, it was an unprecedented sight for over 1,000 people to gather in this place. Not to mention that every one of them was in the 4th Order Open Heaven realm and above. In the beginning, they could be considered restrained and only used their divine senses to search for Yang Kai's whereabouts. However, Their methods became increasingly forceful after some time, so much so that they practically dug up the entire spirit province. When Sect Master Li Yuan Wang received the news and rushed over, he saw that the once prosperous and picturesque spirit province had become a complete mess. The entire spirit province was broken and ruined. Looking down at the scenery below, his brow twitched violently. When they noticed the arrival of the sect master, all the open heaven realm masters hurriedly bowed in greeting. "Greetings, sect master. What are you all doing?" Li Yuan Wang asked grimly. Senior brother Zhao stepped forward and cupped his fist, reporting to sect master, "We are searching for Yang Kai." Li Yuan Wang felt his chest tighten as he asked in a slightly higher-pitched tone, "If you are searching for Yang Kai's whereabouts, then why are you searching my residence?" Senior brother Zhao replied, "We received solid information saying that Yang Kai is hiding here." "Huh?" Li Yuan Wang was surprised. "Where did you get this information?" "It was sent by junior brother Gongsun Ri Hua and junior sister Gongsun Yu Hua. They seemed to have discovered the information from the communication between junior sister Ji Yu Pan and Yang Kai." Li Yuan Wang mulled over this news and vaguely understood how the entire situation came about. He then asked with a stern expression, "Then, have you found him?" Senior brother Zhao shook his head, "Not yet." "Idiots, the lot of you." Li Yuan Wang roared furious, "How can you not realize that you're being led by the nose by the enemy? How did my Lang Ya paradise raise such fools?" Senior brother Zhao was extremely stunned. "Sect master, do you mean to say that Yang Kai is not hiding here?" Li Yuan Wang was absolutely devastated as he shouted, "If he was hiding here, how could he possibly escape this king's perception? Even this king does not detect him anywhere, so how are you expecting to find him here?" Senior brother Zhao bowed his head in contemplation. After a while, he suddenly seemed to come to a realization. "Disciple understands now." Li Yuan Wang looked at senior brother Zhao. "What do you understand?" "The siblings, Gongsun Ri Hua and Gongsun Yu Hua, have defected to the other side. In order to act as decorative thugs, they have deliberately spread fake news to confuse us," senior brother Zhao quickly and enthusiastically declared. Li Yuan Wang felt something hot and sweet rising up in his throat and nearly coughed up blood as a result. He then looked at senior brother Zhao in despair and earnestly gave a warning, "In the future, don't lower your head when you walk." Senior brother Zhao was confused. "This disciple does not understand. Please enlighten me, sect master." Li Yuan Wang sighed. "This king is worried that the water in your head will accidentally spill out." Turning his head to the side, he waved his hand dismissively, "Scram, scram. All of you get lost." When the disciples saw that the sect master was in a terrible mood, they quickly ran away in fear. However, senior brother Zhao continued to mull over the sect master's words. Whilst walking, he shook his head and turned to the junior brother beside him with a puzzled look. "Do I have water in my head?" The junior brother glanced at senior brother Zhao and answered cautiously, "Everybody has water in their head, right?" "Oh." Understanding seemed to strike senior brother Zhao. Thus, he hurriedly raised his head so that his nose pointed towards the sky. A figure suddenly appeared beside Li Yuan Wang. Observing the messy ground below, he smiled lightly. "Sect master, about that stone you dropped before, does your foot hurt?" Li Yuan Wang sighed. "That's quite enough gloating. This is that brat's first time here, so he couldn't have known that this spirit province belonged to this king. Xiao Panna probably just told him about it when she took him on a tour around Lang Ya paradise." Gao Ting nodded. Now that he is being chased and surrounded by countless Lang Ya paradise disciples, he is undoubtedly annoyed that you, the sect master, are not stopping their movements. That's why he deliberately invited them here to annoy you. I swear I'm going to get even with him." Li Yuan Wang was livid. Gao Ting revealed a look of admiration. "That boy sure is stubborn. Despite being in quite a bind, he refuses to come to you. Honestly, he could have talked to you about the situation and asked you to step forward to put an end to everything." Li Yuan Wang coldly snorted. "It's not like he knows about the order this king issued." Gao Ting nodded lightly. "That's true." Meanwhile, many streams of light raced through the sky above the spirit province where Ji Yu Pan lived. A very large group of open heaven realm masters then landed in front of the bamboo building. Noticing the commotion, Gongsun Ri Hua and Gongsun Yu Hua quickly walked out to investigate the situation, but both of them were taken aback by the sight that greeted them. Senior brother Zhao, have you caught the thief? Gongsun Ri Hua asked. Senior brother Zhao turned his nose up and squinted at Gongsun Ri Hua. Traitor. Gongsun Ri Hua was stunned. Heh! Why did I suddenly become a traitor? Before Gongsun Ri Hua could make sense of the situation, senior brother Zhao gestured with his large hand, beat him up. A large number of open heaven realm masters sprang out from behind and buried Gongsun Ri Hua under them in the blink of an eye. The sound of kicking and punching came out, mixed with the sound of Gongsun Ri Hua's cries of agony. Gongsun Yu Hua watched helplessly as her big brother was surrounded and beaten by so many people. She couldn't help shuddering at the sight. Although she did not understand the situation, she didn't dare to stop them either. After a while, the crowd finally dispersed. Gongsun Ri Hua was beaten black and blue and left lying on the ground, groaning in pain. Let's go. Senior brother Zhao waved his large hand and flew away arrogantly with a group of people following behind him. Just what is going on? Gongsun Ri Hua shouted furiously from where he lay on the ground with a badly swollen face. His fellow brothers suddenly came to beat him up and left just as abruptly as they came. These actions left him completely confused. What happened to Yang Kai? Did they manage to capture him? Gongsun Yu Hua watched from the side in trepidation. It was fortunate that she was a woman, which made it difficult for their fellow brothers to hit her. Otherwise, there would have been one more person lying on the ground right now. Ji Yu Pan hid behind Gongsun Yu Hua, looking apologetic. She had a vague guess about the situation, but she was in no position to explain, therefore, she could only silently apologize in her heart. Above the lake, a team of 3 people suddenly turned back after leaving earlier. One of those 3 people was senior brother Zhao. Senior brother Zhao held his head high and glanced at the lake below him out of the corner of his eye. Rubbing his chin thoughtfully, he asked, "Has anybody checked the bottom of this lake?" The 2 junior brothers beside him shook their heads in unison. The one that looked slightly younger answered, "Although nobody checked the bottom of the lake, many fellow brothers have passed by from above over the past few days. Their divine sense perception did not detect any abnormalities." Senior brother Zhao shook his head and said, "We can't be careless. Yang Kai is a 6th order open heaven realm master. Not to mention, he is extremely strong. I'm certain he has some secret techniques to conceal his aura so that he can escape divine sense perception. It might not mean that he is not hiding here. Don't people always say that the most dangerous place is the safest one to hide in? Junior sister Ji Yu is being placed under heavy watch here. For all we know, maybe that brat likes taking risk." The junior brother nodded repeatedly. "Your words make sense, senior brother Zhao. I'll go down and take a look." "You can't." Senior brother Zhao raised a hand to stop his junior brother. "You might be in the 6th order open heaven realm, but you are definitely not his opponent. If he really is hiding underwater, then you will suffer a tragic fate if you go alone." Marshall Peak, Chapter 4763, A Sudden Turn of Events. Beneath the lake, Yang Kai held his breath and concentrated with a frown. The auras of the 3 open heaven realm masters above him were like bright lights in the dark night, so how could he not perceive them? Have my whereabouts been exposed? That shouldn't be. I have not revealed any flaws. These 3 are probably hanging around for some other reason. Under the current circumstances, he did not dare to move about rashly. He was unfamiliar with the land and the people in Lang Ya Paradise, so finding a new hiding place would not be easy. If he was discovered here, then he would need to continue escaping. A world force that seemed rather familiar suddenly surged violently from above. Immediately after that, Yang Kai was astonished to discover that the water in the lake was seething fiercely. The water ascended all at once, as though there was an invisible force pulling it upward. In the blink of an eye, all the water in the lake became suspended in mid-air and the scenery at the depths became unobstructed. High up in the sky, senior brother Zhao's world force fluctuated vigorously. He was holding his hands above his head in a lofty manner. It was obvious that the anomaly in the lake was caused by a secret technique that he used. The lake might be large, But such a feat was not difficult for a sixth-order open heaven realm master like him. The two junior brothers by the side praised Senior Brother Zhao greatly. Senior Brother Zhao, you are amazing. Your skills are truly strong and powerful, Senior Brother Zhao. This junior brother is impressed. Senior Brother Zhao stood with his nose in the air as usual but humbly replied, "It's nothing. These are just some paltry tricks." Huh. Before he could finish speaking, he glanced at the bottom of the lake out of the corner of his eye and noticed something. There was a familiar figure standing there, silently gawking at him. The other two junior brothers also noticed Yang Kai at this moment. They were both surprised and delighted as they shouted, "Your genius truly knows no bounds, Senior Brother Zhao. That bastard really was hiding here." At the bottom of the lake, Yang Kai was feeling speechless. "How did you find me when I hid myself so thoroughly? They are not giving me the chance to have a peaceful and quiet life at all. I only came to Lang Yue Paradise for the Black Ink clan and the people corrupted by the Black Ink. Just what sin did I commit for this calamity to befall me?" Looking at the instigator known as Senior Brother Zhao, Yang Kai was filled with resentment. Senior Brother Zhao suddenly had an ominous feeling, but before he could react, he saw Yang Kai slowly throwing a punch in his general direction. Cow punch. *PU, star. His small universe was shaken by the impact. Consequently, fresh blood spurted out of his mouth and his aura slumped instantly. The whole scenario seemed strangely familiar. Senior Brother Zhao. The two junior brothers nearby were shocked by the sight. Before their voices could even carry far, all the lake water that was being suspended in mid-air by Senior Brother Zhao's secret technique came crashing down. This was the result of his small universe being bombarded by Yang Kai's cow punch. His small universe had been shaken so badly that his world force could not flow properly. When the huge amount of lake water came crashing down, the entire spirit province seemed to tremble from the impact. Yang Kai's figure penetrated the falling lake water and charged towards Senior Brother Zhao with an air of cold hostility. Senior Brother Zhao's expression changed drastically as he shouted, "Watch out." He struggled to mobilize his world force and swung his fist at Yang Kai. Unfortunately, due to the severe shock to his small universe, he couldn't even muster up enough strength to rival a fifth-order open heaven realm master's power with this blow. Yang Kai raised his hand and parried the attack easily. At the same time, he punched out and hit Senior Brother Zhao directly in the face. A violent force erupted and stars burst out in Senior Brother Zhao's vision as he plummeted to the ground like a meteorite falling out of the sky. The reaction of the two junior brothers in the sixth-order open heaven realm were not slow. When Senior Brother Zhao took the hit, they simultaneously attacked from both sides, using the best secret techniques and divine abilities they could in that short time, throwing everything they had at Yang Kai. Yang Kai abruptly turned his head to look at the person on his left and grinned savagely. Under the disbelieving stare of the other party, he took the attack head-on just to close in on him. The sixth-order open heaven realm master was instantly shocked to the core. There were no life or death grudges between them, so he had held back in his attack. Nevertheless, even if he held back his strength, he was still a sixth-order open heaven realm master. No ordinary master could have taken his attacks so lightly. Be that as it may, Yang Kai had taken the attack head-on without flinching. The expression on his face barely even changed. Therefore, the sixth-order open heaven realm master wondered whether he had held back too much. The power of his secret technique might have failed to come through as a result. Before the thought could finish forming in his head though, a fist slammed into his lower abdomen. An indescribably terrifying force burst out, and he immediately doubled over in pain, his complexion going pale. "Get down." Yang Kai flipped around and kicked his victim to the ground. That man crashed down beside the unconscious Senior Brother Zhao. Having witnessed his two senior brothers suffering such a brutal fate, how could the remaining sixth-order open heaven realm master remain ignorant of Yang Kai's strength? In his desperation, he didn't even dare to hold back his strength and fiercely urged the power of his small universe. His palms transformed into palm shadows that covered the entire sky, looming down on Yang Kai. Yang Kai ignored the attacks and lunged towards the sixth-order open heaven realm master. Charging straight at the man, he easily countered the attack under the other party's horrified gaze. The two of them became entangled in battle, and their world forces collided viciously. As soon as they exchanged blows with each other though, the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master immediately felt an ominous sensation. The heritage of his small universe was significantly weaker than the other parties. Such a reckless fight would definitely end in a loss for him. Unfortunately, he was stuck riding a tiger and could not get down. It was impossible for him to get away from Yang Kai now. 3 moves later, his complexion turned deathly pale and his figure became unsteady. 5 moves later, he was seeing stars. His small universe was shaking uncontrollably like an ancient building that had just experienced an earthquake. Accordingly, his fighting ability decreased steadily. "You get down too," Yang Kai shouted, and his palm came smashing down. The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master screamed in agony and dropped straight to the ground. His fall created a large crater. Lying in the middle of the depression, he couldn't find the strength to move at all. Looking up at the young man descending from the sky, all 3 Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters of Lang Ya Paradise lying side by side on the ground experienced a mixture of extremely complicated emotions. They were all Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters, but the other party had defeated all 3 of them on his own in such a short span of time. Not to mention, it was an overwhelmingly one-sided victory. All parties had held back since they were not fighting a life-or-death battle, but even if it had been a real battle, these 3 were certain that they would not have fared any better. Is he really a Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master? Is there such a powerful Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master? How is this possible? Yang Kai landed in front of those 3 and clasped his hands behind his back. Looking down at them from above, he smacked his lips and asked, "Why did you have to do this, senior brothers? Would it kill you to leave me hiding safely below? Why did you have to force me to reveal myself?" 2 of the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters looked ashamed, but senior brother Zhao remained resolute. Even though he was lying on the ground, his head remained raised slightly. He didn't even look straight at Yang Kai and only glanced at him out of the corner of his eyes. Yang Kai noticed senior brother Zhao's posture and wondered, is he really that stubborn? Thinking about it again, this person had fought Yang Kai twice. On both occasions, he had been injured by the cow punch secret technique before he could even do anything. It was only natural that he felt resentful inside. After all, it was understandable for disciples of the cave heavens and paradises to be somewhat prideful of their respective strengths. At this moment, the disciple tokens hanging around the trio's waists suddenly fluctuated with a weak pulse of energy in unison. They quickly checked the message, and a few moments later, senior brother Zhao sighed and said, "It's our defeat, so we will withdraw now. In the future, we won't cause any more trouble for you." "Quit what?" Yang Kai scowled deeply. Senior brother Zhao replied, "The sect master issued an order." "Senior brother Zhao," one of the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters nearby quickly interrupted. The people who successfully captured Yang Kai would obtain the opportunity to enter the Five Lights world for training. That was the order issued directly by the sect master himself. However, it would seem that Yang Kai was ignorant of the situation. Since he did not know, then it would be better to continue keeping him in the dark. After all, if the news were to spread that all the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise had mobilized against a single person in their own territory, Lang Ya Paradise would undoubtedly lose a lot of face. Yang Kai glanced at the one who spoke earlier before he turned to look at senior brother Zhao pensively. "Are you hiding something from me?" The person who spoke earlier quickly denied, No, it's nothing. Junior brother Yang, you've misunderstood me. Is that so?" Yang Kai grinned savagely. Then, he formed a fist with one hand and an open palm with the other. Palming his fist, the thudding sound of flesh against flesh echoed as he approached them slowly. "We've already lost. What else are you going to do to us?" All 3 of them turned pale with fright. A short while later, Yang Kai stood in front of the 3 people whose faces were swollen and bruised and snarled through gritted teeth. "Li Yuan Wang, I'll get you back for this." He never imagined that Li Yuan Wang would use him as a sharpening stone to train the Lang Ya Paradise disciples. Li Yuan Wang had even gone so far as to issue an order saying that the person who managed to capture Yang Kai would obtain the right to enter the Five Lights world for training as a reward. This was something that had been puzzling Yang Kai recently. After hiding for a few days, it seemed like this incident was going to blow over and things were about to end peacefully. Contrary to his expectations, however, the storm suddenly kicked up again for some reason. The number of people searching for him increased dramatically. Moreover, they were much more enthusiastic than before. It turned out Li Yuan Wang was pulling the strings all along. The chance to train inside a small source world was an extremely precious opportunity even in the cave heavens and paradises. How could the open heaven realm masters not go all out with such a reward being offered? However, there was one thing Yang Kai could not understand. Li Yuan Wang knows the real reason I came to Lang Ya Paradise. Since he knows, why is he doing this? Isn't it better to investigate quietly? Unless he is trying to muddy the waters. It'll be easier to blind the fish and catch them all in one fell swoop that way. All of a sudden, Yang Kai understood Li Yuan Wang's ideas and intentions. Even so, would it kill you to inform me beforehand? You issued the order without even telling me anything. If not for my strength, the person lying on the ground with a swollen and bruised face would have been me instead. Li Yuan Wang's order could not be concealed. Yang Kai was bound to learn the truth sooner or later. It was only out of this consideration that senior brother Zhao and the two others had revealed this matter to Yang Kai lest they suffer at his hands again. Be that as it may, Li Yuan Wang had issued another order just now. Those who were defeated by Yang Kai would have to withdraw and could no longer participate in this training. There was no doubt that this order was beneficial to Yang Kai. He could not kill the Lang Ya Paradise disciples after all, so even if he defeated them, they could simply recover and make a comeback. If that were the case, it would only form an endless cycle. Is he planning to make me fight all of the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise? There was no saying whether Yang Kai might be able to discover something in the process of fighting, but that was undoubtedly what Li Yuan Wang was aiming for. It was not to say that this was not a valid method, but Yang Kai could not help feeling very displeased. For some reason, he felt as though he had been used. Anybody else in his shoes would not have been comfortable with the idea either. Fixing his gaze upon senior brother Zhao and the other two, Yang Kai suddenly thought of something and grinned. The three of them had been beaten so badly by Yang Kai that they were now traumatized. Thus, they subconsciously shuddered in fear under his seemingly predatory gaze. Senior brother Zhao, as the group's leader, plucked up his courage and asked warily, "What do you want?" Yang Kai responded with a straight face, "Don't be nervous. You're senior brother Zhao, right? Your space ring looks very exquisite. I like it very much. Can I have a look?" Senior brother Zhao couldn't help widening his eyes at those words. Isn't this daylight robbery? Most of his wealth was contained inside his space ring. If he were robbed of everything, then how was he supposed to survive in the future? Therefore, he immediately clutched at his space ring and yelled, "Don't even think about it." Marshall Peak, Chapter 4764, This is robbery. Since Li Yuan Wang wants to muddy the waters, then I am going to do exactly what he wants. However, I refuse to be used for nothing. Seeing as he made the first move, then he can only blame himself if I retaliate in kind. Nevertheless, robbing the Open Heaven Realm Masters of their space rings was a little too much. Even Yang Kai could not bring himself to do something like that. He only said that just to frighten senior brother Zhao and the others so that he could advance by retreating. A short while later, Yang Kai came to an agreement with those three. Senior brother Zhao glared at Yang Kai furiously and snarled, "You're deranged." Yang Kai snapped impatiently, "Stop complaining. Everybody, hand over a set of Sixth Order materials or items of the same value. If you refuse, then I will hang you up like an offering to the heavens on that spirit province over there." While speaking, he took out a bare tree trunk from somewhere and held it in front of him as though he was holding a flagpole. Moreover, the spirit province he was talking about was none other than the place where all the weaker Lang Ya Paradise disciples lived. Senior brother Zhao and the others couldn't help feeling a bitter aftertaste in their mouths, almost as though they had bitten into a sour gourd. Unfortunately, they were helpless to fight back when faced with such an invincible enemy. If they were tied to the tree trunk on the spirit province in the distance, they would be seen by countless lower Lang Ya Paradise disciples. How could they hold their heads high in the future? A set of sixth-order materials was certainly worth a lot. If these materials were converted into open heaven pills, they would be worth at least 100 million open heaven pills each. Be that as it may, this price was something that the sixth-order open heaven realm masters from Langwye Paradise could afford to pay. Comparing one's dignity to one's wealth, there was no doubt that the former was much more important. What's more, Yang Kai had previously planned to rob them of their space rings entirely. If he were to do that, then their losses would only become greater, hence, his price was not unacceptable to these three even though it was undeniably high. Looking at each other, the three of them each took out some materials to hand to Yang Kai. Yang Kai grinned from ear to ear. "Senior brothers, you are so magnanimous. This junior brother is overwhelmed by your favor." All three of them had cold expressions on their faces. None of them said a word as they sat down cross-legged to recover from their injuries. Yang Kai took several steps forward before seeming to recall something. Digging around in his space ring for a while, he suddenly tossed a spirit pill to each of them. "This is a healing pill refined by Voidland. The effects are pretty good. You should give it a try, senior brothers." "Will this cost us money?" one of the sixth-order open heaven realm masters asked warily, clearly still traumatized by the banditry he had just experienced. Yang Kai pondered in silence for a moment. "I can name a price if you'd like." That sixth-order open heaven realm master's expression darkened, and he looked like he wanted to slap himself on the mouth. Yang Kai burst out laughing. "I was joking. Senior brothers, please rest assured. This yang is also reasonable. Since I have received proper payment already, I won't trouble you any further." After saying that, he manipulated space principles and his figure vanished out of sight. Once they confirmed that Yang Kai was gone, senior brother Zhao and the other two finally breathed a sigh of relief in unison. All three of them could not understand how the situation ended up like this. It was the sect master's orders to use Yang Kai as the goal of their training exercise, but in the end, not only were they completely defeated, but they also had a set of sixth-order materials stolen from them in a twisted manner. It was absolutely heartbreaking. The trio looked at the healing pill in their hands as though they were looking at a piece of stale chicken. Langwye Paradise had their own alchemists, and the quality of the spirit pills refined by these alchemists was naturally quite impressive. For that reason, they had no interest in the products of outsiders. Nevertheless, there was no denying that this spirit pill was something they obtained at a huge cost. Just throwing it away seemed like a massive waste. Senior brother Zhao hesitated for a while, but in the end, he gritted his teeth and tossed the spirit pill into his mouth. A moment later, he exclaimed in surprise, "The quality of this spirit pill is surprisingly good." The two other junior brothers were a little surprised to hear his observation, therefore, they quickly ate the spirit pill only to discover that it was just as senior brother Zhao said. The effects of this spirit pill were certainly no inferior to the spirit pills refined by Langwye Paradise. Senior brother Zhao looked thoughtful. It seems that Voidland has alchemists with impressive skills. Unbeknownst to him, the alchemy skills of both the wondrous pill Great Emperor and Xia Ningchang had improved by leaps and bounds after they advanced into the sixth-order open heaven realm. The two of them had condensed their Dao seals through the alchemic Dao in the first place, so they naturally had a unique advantage in alchemy. Yang Kai suddenly appeared in front of a certain bamboo building. He had no other intentions in coming here. His main reason was only to inform Jiyu Pan that he was safe. There had been no communication between them since she was kidnapped by the twins a few days ago. Even the messages in the communication bead had been clearly sent by somebody who was impersonating her. Inside the bamboo building, Gongsun Ri Hua sat there with his swollen and bruised face. Gongsun Yu Hua was helping him to apply medicine, but every touch made him yelp in pain. He screamed and cursed, "Those bastards are too hateful. I kindly sent them the information, so why did they come and beat me up?" That group of people had come without saying anything or asking any questions and left immediately after beating him up. After suffering this grievance for nothing, his lungs were about to explode from rage. Likewise, Gongsun Yu Hua was angry. "Next time, we'll teach them a lesson one by one." Meanwhile, Jiyu Pan sat quietly by the side. Although she had a vague understanding of the situation, she was not in the position to speak up. At that moment, a familiar aura suddenly appeared outside the bamboo building. She immediately stood up, pushed open the door, and asked in concern, "Senior brother Yang, are you alright?" Yang Kai shook his head, "I'm fine." "Junior sister, don't worry." Upon hearing his voice, Gongsun Ri Hua rushed out from behind Jiu Pan and glared at Yang Kai furiously. "Boy, how dare you show up here?" Yang Kai glanced at Gongsun Ri Hua's swollen and bruised appearance. Blinking in surprise, he suddenly took out a spirit pill and held it between his fingers. He waved the spirit pill about and asked, "Senior brother, I have some good healing pills with me. I guarantee that they will cure all your ailments. Would you like one?" Gongsun Ri Hua was taken aback for a moment. Unable to understand the reason behind Yang Kai's actions, he shook his head in confusion. "No. No, no, no. You do need it, senior brother." Yang Kai insisted. "I told you I don't need it." Gongsun Ri Hua replied impatiently. In the next moment, his expression changed drastically. What? What are you doing? Asterisk hong hong hong, star. Following a loud commotion, Gongsun Ri Hua found himself lying on the ground. His condition was even worse than before. On the other hand, Yang Kai was still holding the healing pill between his fingers. Crouching down, he looked at Gongsun Ri Hua and said with a sincere and happy smile, "Senior brother, I'll only ask once. Do you want this healing pill? Or, do you want this healing pill?" Gongsun Ri Hua was on the verge of tears. It all started when a group of his fellow brothers came over and indiscriminately beat him up. He had only just applied some medicine and the swelling on his face had not even subsided, yet Yang Kai had suddenly come over and beat him up again. "I'm a sixth order open heaven realm master. I can't believe I was beaten up twice in the short span of less than an hour. There is no justice left in this world." At this moment, he felt as though he was the most pitiful sixth order open heaven realm master in the world. Yes, yes. He nodded repeatedly, for fear that his situation would turn bleaker if he dared to say the word no again. It made no sense. Why would somebody in this world forcibly give him a healing pill? Just what kind of mentality was that? Yang Kai's smile widened even further as he stretched out his hand. "Please pay with a set of sixth-order materials or items of equal value." Gongsun Ri Hua turned pale from the shock. "This is robbery." Yang Kai pondered in silence for a moment, and then he nodded in agreement. "You're right. This is robbery." He admitted it. I can't believe he admitted it. Gongsun Ri Hua was immediately overwhelmed by Yang Kai's audacity. Even Gongsun Yu Hua couldn't help covering her red lips with her hand, her beautiful eyes filled with astonishment and disbelief. "Hurry up. Don't dawdle," Yang Kai urged. Gongsun Ri Hua hesitated for a while, then he recalled the horrifying and overwhelming strength that Yang Kai had displayed just now. He had to admit that even with his little sister's cooperation, the two of them would be no match for Yang Kai. It was bad enough that he had been beaten up so badly, however, if his little sister was also beaten in the same manner, she would not be able to lift her head high in public again. She was a woman after all. Sighing heavily, he admitted defeat. "It's my loss." "Brat, don't get too arrogant. There are so many talented people in Lang Ya Paradise. Somebody will definitely defeat you one day." Yang Kai grinned at Gongsun Ri Hua. "I'll be waiting." Gongsun Ri Hua coldly snorted. Taking out a bunch of materials from his space ring, he handed them over to Yang Kai. In response, Yang Kai tossed the healing pill directly into Gongsun Ri Hua's mouth. He stood up and turned to look at Gongsun Yu Hua, who was standing behind Jiu Pan all this time. He grinned and revealed a set of pearly white fangs that flashed with a cold light. Gongsun Yu Hua turned pale. "Junior brother, do you still have more healing pills? I'd like to buy one too." Yang Kai nodded repeatedly. "I like how you are so reasonable and easy to communicate with, senior sister. I have more than enough healing pills, so I'm sure I can satisfy your needs." "How many do you need, senior sister?" "Haha," she forced a laugh. "One is enough." A short while later, both goods and money exchanged hands. Yang Kai smiled happily and made his last sales pitch. "Senior sister, if you need more healing pills in the future, please come to me." Of course," she quickly responded. Then, he turned to look at Jiu Pan. Junior sister Ji-yu, I'll come and visit you when I have finished my business here. Ji-yu Pan replied earnestly, Senior brother, please take care. Gongsun Ri Hua and Gongsun Yu Hua looked at Ji-yu Pan speechlessly. At this time, the one you should be worried about is not that bastard surnamed Yang. You should be more concerned about your senior brothers and senior sisters, right? Can you not be so obvious about siding with the outsiders? Who knows how many other fellow brothers will suffer losses after this? Although they could send out a message to inform the others about the situation, according to Li Yuan Wang's previous orders, the two of them had already been eliminated from this training exercise. Besides, they would only be suspected of cheating if they sent out a message at this time. Even though they were extremely unhappy with what Yang Kai had done, they had their pride as sixth-order open heaven realm masters of Langwei Paradise. Therefore, be it senior brother Zhao and his two followers, or the Gongsun siblings, they quietly accepted the reality that they had been eliminated from the game and did not interfere further. Yang Kai lurked quietly on top of a triangular-shaped spirit province. This entire Langwei Paradise training had unfolded without his knowledge. As the ultimate goal of this training, he had to face all the sixth-order open heaven realm masters in Langwei Paradise with his power alone. He might possess extraordinary strength, but he did not dare to claim that he would have the last laugh in this incident. Nevertheless, it was possible for him to obtain some benefits in the meantime. At present, he controlled two large-scale star cities in Void Territory and High Heaven Territory, as well as several universe paradises and universe cave heavens in the Shattered Heaven. In addition, he also had the support of the resources in the new Great Territory. Be that as it may, nobody would ever complain about having too many resources. A set of sixth-order materials each, with there being hundreds of sixth-order open heaven realm masters in Langwei Paradise. If every one of them bought a healing pill from him, the benefits he would receive were bound to be rather considerable. More importantly, the good fortune divine furnace required large amounts of materials. It was a bottomless pit that would never be filled no matter how many resources were thrown into it. That was why Yang Kai was bursting with motivation at this moment. Martial Peak, Chapter 4765, Deranged. After a short wait, several figures passed by overhead. Their divine senses surged as they searched for any suspicious traces. Yang Kai frowned slightly. Why are there fifth-order open heaven realm masters mixed among this team? Aren't they looking down on me a little too much? How can I tolerate this? Thus, he rose straight into the sky and sped towards the group of four. Among those four people, two were sixth-order and two were fifth-order. They were spread out in an all formation to search their surroundings. All of a sudden, a violent aura swept towards them from below like a tsunami and they immediately turned pale from shock. Before they could get a clear grasp of the situation, Yang Kai had already charged straight into their ranks like an arrow released from the string. An overwhelming world force swept outward at the same time. The two fifth-order open heaven realm masters were instantly slammed by the impact. Their figures swayed and staggered unsteadily like small boats caught in the middle of a storm. When they hastily stabilized their figures and looked over, they saw that one of their senior brothers in the sixth-order open heaven realm had been punched in the chest. The sixth-order open heaven realm master immediately coughed up fresh blood, and his complexion turned pale. Isn't that too harsh? Although they could tell that this punch would not endanger the life of their senior brother, injuries were inevitable. The senior brother who was punched in the chest tried to fight back, but the attacker punched him again and again. After that, he dropped out of the sky like a broken paper kite. The world force lingering around his body also became incredibly chaotic. That was a clear sign that his small universe had been shaken violently. A powerful sixth-order open heaven realm master instantaneously lost all combat capability. It could be seen that the attacker's strength was horrifying indeed. The reaction of the other sixth-order open heaven realm master was not slow. He quickly blasted various divine abilities and secret techniques at the enemy, but he was not in time to change the fate of his comrade. Watching his fellow brother collapsing to the ground immediately flooded him with a mixture of fear and rage. Hence, he did not dare to hold back his strength whatsoever. Be that as it may, his efforts were in vain. In less than 10 breaths, He too screamed in agony and followed in the footsteps of his comrade. Standing in the void alone, Yang Kai looked absolutely dominant. All of a sudden, he turned around to look at the two Fifth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters. Both of these two immediately turned pale as they felt like the abyss itself was staring at them. "Run!" one of them shouted. Then, they immediately split up to the left and the right as if they had discussed it in advance. Even their two senior brothers in the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm were not Yang Kai's opponents, so how could two Fifth Order Masters like them possibly resist? At this point, their only option was to escape. Nevertheless, how could they manage that? Yang Kai raised a hand and slapped his palm towards the two Fifth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters as though he was swatting at mosquitoes. A short while later, Yang Kai happily stood in front of the four battered people and said with deep concern, "Your injuries are terrible." The four of them were speechless. "Why are you mentioning the obvious? Besides, who gave us these injuries? I can't believe he is shedding crocodile tears and pretending to be concerned. What a jerk." Even though their hearts were filled with grief and resentment, their strength was certainly incomparable to the other party. Therefore, there was nothing they could say in return. They never imagined that a Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master could have such terrifying strength. It could be said that today they witnessed an eye-opening sight indeed. One of the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters, who seemed to be the group's leader, coughed lightly and spoke, "Junior Brother Yang, your skills are amazing and your heritage is extraordinary. We admit defeat." Admitting defeat meant that they would be eliminated from this training event, and the chance to enter the Five Lights world for training would have nothing to do with them anymore. Although it was a pity, there was no helping it since they were weak. As Lang Ya Paradise disciples, they had their own pride, therefore, they admired masters like Yang Kai to a certain extent. "My respects." Yang Kai cupped his fist. Then, with a flip of his palm, a jade bottle suddenly appeared in his hand and he smiled and said, "This Yang has some good healing pills. Please give them a try." While speaking, he gave a flick of his wrist and 4 spirit pills flew out, stopping in front of these 4. The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master who spoke earlier nodded lightly, "Many thanks." He thought that Yang Kai took out these healing pills due to a sense of guilt for hurting them, so he did not think too much about the other party's intentions. They each stuffed 1 spirit pill into their mouths without a second thought. This healing pill is pretty good." He raised his brow in surprise. One of the other Fifth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters added, "The taste is also quite nice." Yang Kai suddenly reached out his hand. "That will be 1 set of Sixth Order materials or items of equal value." What? The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master was taken aback. Yang Kai's expression became grim. "What's wrong? Are you refusing to pay after buying something from me? Senior brother, are you planning to rob me? This Yang might be alone, but I am not easy to bully." The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master was confused. "What did I buy from you? Besides, who bullied who? It's obvious that the 4 of us were bullied by you." The other Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master looked at Yang Kai with a strange expression and asked hesitantly, "Junior Brother Yang, you can't be referring to the healing pill, right?" "What else could it be?" Yang Kai responded matter-of-factly. The group of 4 were rendered speechless for a time, but in the end the first Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master eventually asked, "Junior Brother, were these healing pills not a gift?" Yang Kai glanced sideways at the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master. "When did I ever say I'm giving them to you? This item is extremely valuable. I was planning to sell it from the start. A single healing pill is extremely valuable. There should be a limit to acting shameless. Hurry up now. Even Senior Brother Zhao and the others bought this healing pill at this price, so you are no exception." This Yang has always been reasonable and fair when doing business. The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master was stunned. "Even Senior Brother Zhao bought this spirit pill?" Yang Kai nodded. The Gongsun siblings also bought a healing pill each from this Yang. If you don't believe me, you can contact them and ask. I'm sure you have each other's contact information, right? Judging by his expression, he did not seem to be lying. The 2 Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters questioned in their hearts. Could it be that Senior Brother Zhao, Senior Brother Gongsun, and Senior Sister Gongsun really bought these healing pills? How can the senior brothers and senior sister tolerate something like that? Wait a moment please. The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master who started speaking first took out a communication bead. His divine sense surged as he tried to contact the other party. Senior Brother Zhao, this junior brother has a question.
Oh.
Junior brother you? What is it? Yang Kai claimed that you bought a healing pill from him. Is that true? There was no reply from Senior Brother Zhao. Senior Brother Zhao? Senior Brother Zhao, are you still there? I'm here. Is this true? Ah. That's the gist of it. What does he mean by that's by the gist of it? Junior brother, you could not understand the meaning behind Senior Brother Zhao's words. Just as he was about to ask more questions, Senior Brother Zhao sent another message. You should just buy the healing pill, Junior Brother you. Exchanging money to avoid disaster is better than being hung on a tree and put on display for all the junior disciples to see. You can earn more wealth if it is lost, but you can never pick up your face if you lose it. Hung on a tree? In the midst of his confusion, he saw that Yang Kai had taken out a bare tree trunk that was a couple dozen meters tall at some point in time. Moreover, Yang Kai would occasionally glance over at them while fiddling with some rope, as though trying to figure out the most convenient way to hang them from the tree. He couldn't help shuddering in fear and quickly replied to the message, "Many thanks, Senior Brother Zhao. Please recuperate well, Senior Brother Zhao. This junior brother will visit you later. You should recover from your injuries first." Putting the communication bead away, Junior Brother Yu looked at Yang Kai speechlessly. Then, he smiled bitterly and said, "Junior Brother Yang, you sure are good at doing business." Yang Kai looked proud. Of course. How else could I have provided for my family if I was not? Have you understood the situation, Senior Brother? Junior Brother Yu nodded. Even Senior Brother Zhao had admitted defeat, so what else could he do? Helpless, he could only bring out resources that were worth a set of Sixth Order materials and give them to Yang Kai. Seeing this, the other Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master could only do the same. Yang Kai happily received the resources, then he turned around to look at the two Fifth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters. Those two nearly burst into tears. One of the Fifth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters that looked older said, "Senior Brother Yang, even if I gather all of my wealth, I don't have that much. I haven't swallowed the spirit pill. Why don't I return it to you?" After saying so, he spat out the spirit pill onto his palm and tremblingly handed it back to Yang Kai. Yang Kai's expression darkened. "It's all covered in your spit now. Who would want this? This Yang does not have a policy of accepting returns for goods I have sold." The Fifth Order Open Heaven Realm Master wailed, "But, Senior Brother Yang, I really don't have that much wealth. This healing pill of yours, I simply can't afford it." Ordinary Fifth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters would be considered extremely wealthy if they had resources worth a few tens of millions of Open Heaven pills in reserve. After all, they needed to cultivate constantly, so it was hard to retain any balance after buying cultivation resources. Although a Fifth Order Open Heaven Realm Master from a cave heaven or paradise would be in better condition and have more wealth than average, it was still impossible for them to have over 100 million Open Heaven pills worth of resources just lying around. That was the wealth that belonged only to Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters and above. "That's right, Senior Brother Yang, we are not trying to deceive you." The other Fifth Order Open Heaven Realm Master joined in. Yang Kai sighed, "I know you are not lying to me, and I also believe that you don't have that much wealth. But, if you don't have enough yourself, I'm sure you can borrow some." While speaking, he shot a sharp glance to the two people standing beside the Fifth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters. All four of them were shocked. "Can you really do that? Isn't that a little too much? I don't have much time. If you're not willing to pay up, then I won't force you either. However, I can't say what kind of consequences you will face as a result," Yang Kai quickly said when he saw that those two Fifth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters were hesitating. The younger Fifth Order Open Heaven Realm Master asked weakly, "Dare I ask, Senior Brother Yang, what are the consequences?" Yang Kai grinned, "Have a guess." Although Yang Kai did not say anything specific, both of them had an extremely ominous feeling. If they did not buy this healing pill, something very bad would be waiting for them. The older Fifth Order Open Heaven Realm Master said, "Senior Brother Yang, our cultivation is not as high as our senior brothers. We are only in the 5th order open heaven realm. Can you lower the price of this healing pill? You get what you pay for, no? What does this have to do with your cultivation? Yang Kai glared. Don't you feel embarrassed saying you get what you pay for? Where in this world would you find such an expensive healing pill? Despite the retorts in their hearts, they did not dare to say a word. The 2 5th order open heaven realm masters glanced towards the 2 6th order open heaven realm masters hesitantly. Senior brothers, these junior brothers are in trouble. Please help us, senior brothers. The 2 6th order open heaven realm masters were having a headache. Unfortunately, things had already reached this point. In order to settle this matter, they could only provide a loan to their junior brothers. They could not watch without doing anything as Yang Kai hung their 2 junior brothers up on the tree like an offering to the heavens, right? Many thanks for the generosity. Yang Kai kept his things and smiled brilliantly. Please focus on your recovery. I won't disturb you any longer. After saying that, he turned and left. Not long after Yang Kai departed, senior sister Ju, who was dressed in fiery red robes, rushed over with a group of people. She was shocked to see the 4 of them with bruised and swollen faces. Not to mention, they looked as depressed as grieving widows. What happened to you? The older 5th order open heaven realm master wept bitterly. Senior sister Ju, why did you only come now? What happened? She asked with a frown. Junior brother Yu sighed. Yang Kai wounded us, then forcibly sold us a healing pill each. Senior sister Ju was livid. How dare he do something like that? However, thinking about it again, it seemed plausible. When she went to cause trouble for him previously, he had not held back either. If that was the case for a woman like her, it only went to show Yang Kai's brutal nature. Marshall Peak, Chapter 4766, Senior Brothers, it's time for some medicine. Senior sister Ju glanced at junior brother Yu again. Did you say that Yang Kai sold you some healing pills? Junior brother Yu nodded. She was puzzled. Why would he sell you healing pills? Is he that kind-hearted? Junior brother Yu replied in a distressed tone. It's not out of kindness. Senior sister Ju, you don't understand. That healing pill of his cost each of us a set of 6th order materials. What? She was absolutely taken aback. What kind of healing pill is worth a set of 6th order materials? That's over a 100 million open heaven pills per pill. Only then did she understand the situation. His selling by compulsion. That's right. That's right. Junior brother Yu and the others nodded repeatedly. It's not just us. Even senior brother Zhao and senior brother and sister Gongsun have been forced to buy those healing pills. Damn. Senior sister Ju gnashed her teeth furiously. It's bad enough that he came to Lang Wei Paradise and bullied our disciples. I can't believe he even uses such a despicable method to make money. Does he think that there is nobody in Lang Wei Paradise that can defeat him? The older 5th order open heaven realm master added, Senior sister Ju, please take revenge for us. She snorted, rest assured, he better not let me find him. If I meet him, I will definitely beat him up so badly that even junior sister Gu cannot recognize him. At that time, you should sell some healing pills to him. He was overjoyed to hear those words. We'll be relying on you, senior sister Ju. She glanced at them and waved her hand dismissively. Since you have been defeated by Yang Kai, you should focus on your recovery. Don't interfere in this exercise anymore. Yes. They responded politely. Afterwards, senior sister Ju led her team into the sky and soon vanished out of sight. A young man in her team spoke up all of a sudden. Senior sister Ju, is Yang Kai really that strong? There were 2 6th order open heaven realm masters in junior brother Yu's team. How could they fail to be his opponent when they are fighting 2 against 1? Senior sister Ju frowned in contemplation for a moment before she answered. That guy is definitely the strongest 6th order open heaven realm master that I've ever met in my life. Even senior brother Lemang is not his opponent. Don't you dare let down your guard. Everybody was shocked by what they heard. Although they heard the rumors that senior brother Lemang had been defeated by Yang Kai, they had not witnessed the situation with their own eyes and were not aware of what transpired at the time. They even assumed that the rumors were exaggerated and misrepresented. They knew senior brother Lemang's strength after all. How could he be defeated by somebody in the same order? It was not until they received confirmation from senior sister Ju that they realized the rumors were true. The person who spoke earlier said, if that's the case, then even if we encountered Yang Kai, we might not be able to defeat him. They had 3 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in their team. Nevertheless, based on Yang Kai's previous performances, they would suffer a miserable fate even if they ran into him with such a force Kai. Senior sister Ju replied, it doesn't matter. If we encounter him, then we only need to delay him. I'm sure our fellow brothers and sisters will quickly come to our aid. At that time, he will have nowhere to escape. They nodded at her words. Where should we go now, senior sister Ju? She said, Yang Kai is proficient in the Tao of space and excels at escaping. He just defeated junior brother Yu and the others not long ago, so he definitely escaped towards the other side of Lang Ya Paradise. Let's go and search for him there. Senior sister Ju, your plan is brilliant. I'm sure we'll be able to locate Yang Kai now. At the place where junior brother Yu and the others were recovering, the 4 of them sat down cross-legged and meditated on the spot. Yang Kai's attacks earlier were quite heavy. Although they still retained some mobility, it was not easy for them to move around at the moment, therefore, they planned to recuperate for a while before heading back to their respective homes. Not long after senior sister Ju departed though, 2 others passed by in the sky overhead. They quickly landed after seeing the 4 people below. When they saw the miserable condition of junior brother Yu and the others, both of them were completely shocked. One of them asked, Junior brother Yu, what happened to you? Junior brother Yu opened his eyes with a sheepish expression on his face. Senior brother Wang, senior brother Yi, my apologies for showing you such an embarrassing sight. Senior brother Wang looked pensive, don't tell me, did you junior brothers encounter Yang Kai? If not for that case, there was no other explanation for the situation in front of them. The 2 of them quietly observed the situation and were shocked. It turned out that Yang Kai had attacked quite ruthlessly. Junior brother Yu nodded in embarrassment, but just as he was about to describe what happened, he suddenly looked behind the 2 newcomers with an expression of fear and terror. They also noticed that something was wrong at the same time and hastily surged the power of their small universes to defend themselves. However, they felt a violent force coming towards them from behind before they could even turn around and were instantly swept up by it. Despite fighting back desperately, they were no match for this force and their small universes were instantly shaken, causing them to see stars spinning around in their vision. A short while later, Yang Kai crouched down in front of his 2 latest clients, took out a jade bottle, and said, Senior brothers, these are the healing pills that Voidland produces. Would you like to try them? What do you mean? Senior brother Yi did not understand. Junior brother Yu gave an awkward cough from the side and explained the situation clearly. Both senior brother Wang and senior brother Yi were completely taken aback. Can you even do that? Even junior brother Yu was stunned. He never imagined that Yang Kai had been hanging around in the vicinity instead of leaving. Yang Kai had not revealed himself when senior sister Ju and the others came by earlier. It was not until senior brother Wang and senior brother Yi arrived that he suddenly revealed himself and caused trouble for them. Senior brother Wang was actually rather carefree about the whole situation. Spitting out some blood, he laughed and said, Junior brother Yang, your strength is extraordinary indeed. This Wang is inferior, so there's nothing much to say. The healing pills. I'll take one of them. Yang Kai turned to look at senior brother Yi. What about you, senior brother? Senior brother Yi felt as though he was suffering from a toothache, but he still said, give me one too. Senior brothers, you are too generous. Yang Kai was absolutely delighted. Yang Kai received a large number of materials and gave out 2 healing pills in return. Only then did he say, you should stay here and focus on recovering. I'll be taking my leave now. After saying that, he stepped forward and vanished out of sight. Junior brother Yu looked around suspiciously. Yang Kai had done the same thing previously, but it turned out that he had not left far. There was no saying whether he was hiding nearby again, therefore, junior brother Yu had a sneaking suspicion that the same situation was repeating itself. Soon after, several streams of light rushed over from a distance and quickly arrived above their heads. The person leading this group was a large-bodied man. He looked down in puzzlement and asked, "Senior brothers, why are you gathered here? Was there a fight here just now?" This junior brother detected some energy fluctuations coming from here. Junior brother Yu and the others looked up and desperately tried to signal to their comrades to leave as quickly as possible. Having been eliminated from the training, they were not in a position to aid others, so they could only hope that the junior brothers who came here would understand their kind intentions. The person who came blinked his eyes before flying down and landing in front of them. "Senior brothers, do you have something to say to me?" Junior brother Yu and the others slapped their palms against their faces before closing their eyes, unable to bring themselves to watch. In the next moment, Yang Kai's aura emerged again, seemingly out of nowhere. A violent burst of energy swept out, accompanied by a series of agitated screams. Shockingly, everything became calm again in the short span of several breaths. Yang Kai stood in front of the Lang Ya Paradise disciples collapsed on the ground with a huge smile on his face. "Senior brothers, you sure are enthusiastic. This Yang is ashamed." Junior brother Yu looked up at the sky and gave a long sigh. Which senior brother or senior sister in Lang Ya Paradise can come and teach this guy a lesson? If this continues on, it won't be long before Lang Ya Paradise loses all face. The new group that just arrived were dazed. There were 6 of them, with 2 6th-order Open Heaven Realm Masters, 2 5th-order Open Heaven Realm Masters, and even 2 4th-order Open Heaven Realm Masters. Be that as it may, they had been completely defeated in a short span of time. It was simply unimaginable. Come, come, come. Senior brothers and junior brothers, it's time for some medicine." Yang Kai enthusiastically took out some healing pills. "Everyone, please recuperate here with peace of mind. This Yang will be leaving first." After receiving another batch of materials, Yang Kai cupped his fist with a smile and stepped into the void. Junior brother Yu glared at Yang Kai resentfully. "You've said those words 3 times now." The 6 people, who were forced to buy the healing pills a moment ago, remained in a daze. In particular, the 2 5th-order Open Heaven Realm Masters and 2 4th-order Open Heaven Realm Masters were feeling indescribably heartbroken. Losing a set of 6th-order materials was a heavy blow for any 6th-order Open Heaven Realm Master in Lang Ya Paradise, but such a loss was still within the acceptable range if they remained strong-hearted. In contrast, this kind of loss was practically a lethal blow to the 5th-order and 4th-order Open Heaven Realm Masters. Not to mention, they could not even take out so much wealth at once and were forced to borrow from others to make up for what they lacked. Junior brother Yu suddenly stood up. "We cannot stay here any longer. This guy is obviously using us as bait to lure in the fish." His words immediately awakened everybody to the situation. Senior brother Wang and senior brother Yi nodded in agreement. "You're right. If we are gathered in this place, our fellow brothers will surely stop to investigate the situation if they pass by. At that time, they will also be implicated in this mess." The large-bodied 6th-order Open Heaven Realm Master looked at them with an aggrieved look. That was how his team had been lured down previously. He asked sorrowfully, "Why didn't you leave earlier, senior brothers?" If they had left earlier, then he would not have come over to investigate out of curiosity. He even specially flew over for this purpose. In the end, he had been struck by Yang Kai, who had been hiding in the dark. Junior brother Yu replied awkwardly, "I only just understood this myself." Senior brother Wang glanced at the 5th-order and 4th-order Open Heaven Realm Masters crying desolately over their losses. Then, he made a suggestion: send out a message to inform the others that those below the 6th-order Open Heaven Realm should not participate in this training. Although the sect master did not disallow the participation of those below the 6th-order Open Heaven Realm, only those in the 6th order were informed of it. The only reason there were 5th-order and 4th-order Open Heaven Realm Masters participating in this training was that they were hoping to reap some benefits. In the end, they not only failed to gain any benefits, but suffered great losses instead. They would not be able to recover from such a blow for the next few hundred years. Junior brother Yu hesitated. "We have already been eliminated, so this training no longer has anything to do with us. I don't think it is appropriate for us to send out a message." Senior brother Wang shook his head. "I'm not saying we should inform our fellow brothers about his whereabouts. It's enough if we tell them about the healing pills. The junior brothers in the 5th Order and 4th Order Open Heaven realm will understand. This doesn't count as interference. The words had just left his mouth when Yang Kai's figure appeared out of nowhere. Yang Kai stared at senior brother Wang blankly and asked, "Senior brother, your injuries don't seem to have gotten better. I still have over 100 healing pills with me. Would you like some?" Senior brother Wang shuddered at the thought. The corners of his mouth twitched as he replied, "No need, no need. I'm grateful for your kindness, junior brother Yang. My injuries will heal just fine if I go back and rest for a short while. Well, goodbye." After saying that, he soared into the sky. Meanwhile, Yang Kai turned to look at the others. They didn't even bother to be courteous and escaped out of sight in the blink of an eye. Looking at their vanishing backs, Yang Kai clicked his tongue in annoyance. There goes my bait. Needless to say, he was not going to allow them to ruin his chances of making a fortune. If the 5th Order and 4th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters wanted to participate in this training, then they should be prepared to be injured by him and forced to buy a healing pill. However, he knew that it was meaningless to stop them from warning the others. The news was bound to spread soon enough. Accordingly, the 5th Order and 4th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters would automatically withdraw from the training. If that happened, then his sources of income would be greatly reduced. I can't remain passive. I have to take the initiative to attack. That's the only way I can recoup my losses to the greatest extent. Marshall Peak, Chapter 4767, Appearing and Disappearing Mysteriously. Many years had passed since the last time Lang Ya territory was so lively. The figures of countless Open Heaven Realm Masters patrolling above each of the spirit provinces could be seen. These Open Heaven Realm Masters moved about in teams, spreading their divine senses into their surroundings as though they were searching for something. Even though they were patrolling, they remained vigilant at all times. Their world force lingered around their bodies, always on guard against sneak attacks. The weaker disciples who did not know what was happening looked up in curiosity. What are the martial uncles and aunts doing? Has there been an enemy invasion in Lang Ya territory? Somebody asked. A well-informed person sighed and explained, "It's not an enemy invasion. We simply have a special guest." A guest? What kind of guest could make so many Open Heaven Realm Masters be dispatched together? I even saw Martial Aunt Ju and Martial Uncle Lamang flying around earlier. They were rushing about with very serious expressions. Voidland's Lord, Yang Kai. Have you heard of him? Sounds familiar. I think I've heard of him before. Of course, he sounds familiar. He comes from the star boundary, which currently has the world tree. Didn't Lang Ya Paradise select a group of disciples with low cultivation and high aptitude to send to nurture in the star boundary several years ago? So it's him. This guest is not simple. He seems to have defeated many of our martial uncles and martial aunts in the Open Heaven realm. The sect master issued a command to mobilize all the 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise for a training exercise, with this person as the target. Anybody who can capture him will be rewarded. Isn't that to say that Yang Kai will have to face all the 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise by himself? That's right. In that case, he must have suffered a disastrous fate by now. That's why I said this person isn't simple. The training has gone on for more than 10 days now, but Voidland's Lord continues to roam about freely. On the contrary, no less than 100 Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise have been defeated by him. Wow! Are you serious? I wish it were fake, but it's the truth. Ah! It's Martial Aunt Gu. The disciple who was speaking earlier suddenly looked up into the sky and stared at the leading figure flying overhead with an obsessive gaze. He shouted at the top of his voice, "Martial Aunt Gu." Many other disciples shouted along, immediately setting off a deafening chorus of the name Martial Aunt Gu. Above them, a beautiful woman leading several Open Heaven Realm Masters behind her happened to be passing by swiftly. When she heard the voices, she looked down and smiled warmly. The disciples below instantly went crazy. "Martial Aunt Gu smiled at me. Ha 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 ha. Martial Aunt Gu smiled at me. I'll have no regrets even if I died today. Bullshit. Martial Aunt Gu was smiling at me. Junior brother, you must be blind. You're the blind one, senior brother. The disciples were burning with passion. It could be seen that this Martial Aunt Gu was very popular in Langwye Paradise. It was not surprising, after all, this martial aunt by the name of Jiu Linga was not only extremely beautiful, but also incredibly gentle and helpful to others. Many of the weaker disciples also received her support before. Therefore, her popularity was high among both the weaker disciples and the Open Heaven Realm Masters. Countless fellow brothers secretly had feelings for her, but did not dare to express them, lest they offended her. While the weaker disciples were going crazy, the Open Heaven Realm Masters in Langwye Paradise were also going crazy. 5 days ago, Yang Kai suddenly changed his behavior. He no longer remained in hiding and instead took the initiative to attack. Following that, the number of Open Heaven Realm Masters who were eliminated from this training soared. Nobody could figure out what he was thinking, but at present, almost the entire Langwye territory had become his hunting grounds. Their status as the hunter and the prey constantly switched back and forth between Yang Kai and Sixth Order Masters in Langwye Paradise. There were traces of battle everywhere one went. After eliminating more than a dozen Open Heaven Realm Masters, Yang Kai's various actions finally spread to the public. Everybody learned that he would forcibly sell a healing pill produced by Void Land to his victims after he defeated them. Moreover, the price of each healing pill was a set of Sixth Order materials. What's more, nothing good would come from refusing to buy the healing pill. There was once a junior brother in the Sixth Order Open Heaven realm who refused to buy the healing pill. In the end, he was hung up on a tree trunk like an offering to the heavens and placed on the spirit province where the lower disciples lived to be publicly witnessed by all. It was said that the incident terribly traumatized him, and he was too ashamed to show his face in public again. That was why eldest senior brother Lemang issued an order. Anybody who was defeated by Yang Kai should choose to exchange money to avoid disaster rather than to humiliate themselves just to save on a set of cultivation resources. After all, the face that they lost could never be recovered. In this way, all the Fifth Order and Fourth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters who originally participated in this training hoping to pick up some benefits quickly withdrew in horror. There was no helping it. A set of Sixth Order materials was simply too expensive for them. Even if they came from Langwye Paradise, they could not afford such a price. Not to mention, judging by the experiences of their comrades who encountered Yang Kai previously, it would seem that Yang Kai would not look the other way even if they were Fifth Order and Fourth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters. Out of all the Fifth Order and Fourth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters who were defeated by him before, who had not bought a spirit pill from him, Yang Kai's behavior roused the rage and indignation of all the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Langwye Paradise. Not only did he abandon junior sister Jiu Pan after thoughtlessly deflowering her, but he was also earning a fortune from this training. It was simply intolerable. Nevertheless, it was undeniable that he was extremely strong. Even if 2 or 3 Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters joined forces together, things would not end well for them if they encountered him. As the eldest senior brother, Lemang immediately shouldered the responsibility of coordinating the troop. At this moment, the identity tokens of many Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Langwye Paradise would occasionally flash. Numerous divine senses poured into their respective identity tokens, and communications flowed endlessly between them. Senior brother Ning's team has been defeated. They were located in the Purple Cloud's spirit province. Judging by the traces of the battle, it probably lasted for no more than a quarter hour. I repeat, senior brother Ning's team has been defeated. They were located in the Purple Cloud's spirit province. All the fellow brothers in the vicinity should increase their vigilance. There were 4 Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in senior brother Ning's team. I can't believe they were eliminated. How are the injuries of those senior brothers? They did not suffer any life-threatening wounds, but their injuries are not light either. It will take 10 to 15 days for them to recover. The complexions of senior brother Ning and his team aren't very good. Senior brother asked us to work hard to avenge them. Isn't that bastard being a bit too ruthless? He seriously injures all the fellow brothers who encounter him just so he can sell that healing pill of his. Hateful. You should be careful too, senior brother Lee. That bastard surnamed Young likes to turn around and attack the same spot. Several teams have already suffered losses from his tactics. We located Young Kai at Tiger Raw Spirit Province. Requesting reinforcements. Requesting reinforcements. Ah. Junior brother Ju. Junior brother Ju. There was no reply. After a short pause, somebody spoke up. I'm afraid junior brother Ju's team may have already encountered misfortune. Don't panic, fellow brothers. Be sure to persevere until the end. We have the advantage in numbers. Victory belongs to us. After a moment of silence, someone said, Junior brother Ju's team may have already encountered misfortune. Don't panic, fellow brothers, be sure to hold on, we are numerous and powerful, and victory will surely belong to us. That bastard is too elusive. Purple Cloud Spirit Province is in the northeast while Tiger Raw Spirit Province is in the southwest. How did he get there so quickly? The Tao of space is truly unparalleled and mysterious. Amazing. All of a sudden, a divine sense fluctuated in all of their identity tokens. They investigated the phenomenon and discovered that it was a message from senior brother Lamang. All teams are to merge together with others in the vicinity. Make sure that there are no less than 5 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in each team. Every team will be responsible for the areas in their vicinity, and they are not allowed to leave their designated areas without authorization. Those who discover Young Kai's whereabouts must report their findings immediately, and the teams nearby are to provide support. We will obey your orders, eldest senior brother. Everyone responded quickly. Over the past 10 days or so, many Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise came to deeply understand Young Kai's strength. 2 or 3 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters working together were not enough to match him in battle at all. 4 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters were barely enough to fight back, so only 5 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters had enough combat force to face him. It was precisely because of this consideration that Lamang made this adjustment to their formation. Every team had 5 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters working together, and each team was in charge of an area. In this way, it was enough to prevent Young Kai from moving around undetected. As soon as he revealed his whereabouts, Lang Ya Paradise would be able to take the initiative in the battle. All the 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise had been mobilized. If they were still unable to defeat Young Kai, they would not have any face left to show. In front of the Grand Hall on the main Spirit Province, Li Yuan Wang's expression was as dark as the bottom of a pot. Gao Ting stood by the side and glanced at him from time to time. If you have something to say, then spit it out. Why are you holding back? Li Yuan Wang's brow twitched. Gao Ting smacked his lips. That brat has caused such a huge commotion. How are we supposed to end things now? The truth was that there was nothing wrong with Li Yuan Wang's decision. Using this training to muddy the waters would certainly make things more convenient for Young Kai to act. In fact, they might even make some unexpected discoveries along the way. However, the current situation had vastly exceeded the expectations of both Li Yuan Wang and Gao Ting. Young Kai had eliminated over 100 Open Heaven Realm Masters in the span of 10 days. Be that as it may, he remained high-spirited and full of energy. That was not all, he was also making a killing by selling his healing pills by compulsion. He had obtained a large number of cultivation resources from the Lang Ya Paradise disciples already. Li Yuan Wang had known about Young Kai's strength. After all, Young Kai had killed a 7th Order Open Heaven Realm Master before. How could the 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise be his opponents? Nevertheless, even if 1 or 2 people were not his opponents, 8 or 10 of them should have no trouble defeating him, right? Li Yuan Wang believed that Young Kai would eventually be captured by the Lang Ya Paradise disciples during the training, which would have provided a satisfactory ending to this debacle. Unfortunately, the current situation seemed to be going horribly wrong. Leaving aside everything else, just the loss of the cultivation resources by the Lang Ya Paradise disciples was enough to break Li Yuan Wang's heart. He couldn't help cursing to himself. Did you come to Lang Ya Paradise to search for the Black Ink clan or carry out robbery? Gao Ting had previously ridiculed him for lifting a stone only to smash his own foot with it, and looking at the current circumstances, it would seem to be true. The changes occurring throughout Lang Ya Paradise were also felt by Yang Kai. The teams he encountered before only had 3 or 4 sixth-order open heaven realm masters at most. With his current strength, it was not difficult for him to cope with such numbers. Now, however, every team had at least 5 sixth-order open heaven realm masters. Some teams even had 7 or 8. He couldn't help feeling troubled. There were so many sixth-order open heaven realm masters that it was tough for him to eliminate them all at once without transforming into his grand dragon form. If he did not eliminate all of them together, then he could not sell his wares with peace of mind. Of course, the current situation was within his expectations. The sixth-order open heaven realm masters in Lang Ya Paradise might be a little crooked because of Li Yuan Wang's unrighteousness, but they were still sixth-order open heaven realm masters, not fools who had never seen the world or cultivated before. After suffering so many losses, even they had learned their lesson. That was why Yang Kai believed that it was time for him to change his strategy. If there was no way to defeat an entire team in one go, then he simply needed to attack them twice or thrice instead. In the worst case, I can put them on credit. I'll just go door to door to collect my debts from them after the training ends. Yes. What a great idea. Yang Kai couldn't help feeling proud of his wit. Marshall Peak, Chapter 4768, Half Price for the Second Pill. The thought had only just crossed Yang Kai's mind when he suddenly detected a stream of light speeding by over where he was hiding. The aura coming from the stream of light belonged to a sixth-order open heaven realm master. His eyes immediately lit up at the sight. That's another set of sixth-order materials. With a flicker of his figure, Yang Kai immediately blocked the path of the other party. Startled, the passing sixth-order open heaven realm master quickly came to a halt and turned pale with shock when he caught a clear glimpse of Yang Kai's face, as senior brother Yang. Before he could even finish his sentence, the sight of a fist rapidly growing larger filled his entire vision. He hastily pushed his world force to retaliate, but it was already too late. Even though they were both in the sixth-order open heaven realm, meeting Yang Kai alone was no different from a fish lying on a chopping block. In just 3 breaths, the passing sixth-order open heaven realm master was knocked to the ground by Yang Kai and crashed hard into a forest below. Yang Kai quickly descended and looked at the other party with a smile. "Junior brother, your courage isn't small." When he first saw that this person was acting alone, he thought that Lang Ya Paradise was using him as bait to lure him into a trap. However, there were no traces of any other sixth-order open heaven realm masters from Lang Ya Paradise up until now. It could be certain that this person was indeed acting alone, therefore, Yang Kai couldn't help praising him. In this situation where all the sixth-order open heaven realm masters in Lang Ya Paradise were in danger, which one of them did not move about in a large team? There was no denying that this person was bold indeed. All of a sudden, Yang Kai frowned. "Junior brother, why do you look so familiar? Moreover, your injuries." The sixth-order open heaven realm master looked like he was about to cry as he said, "Senior brother Yang, we met each other just 3 days ago. You gave me these injuries." "Huh?" Yang Kai's expression became strange. "Is that to say that you've been eliminated?" "That's right." The sixth-order open heaven realm master nodded aggrievedly. Just why was his luck so terrible? He had already been eliminated from the training 3 days ago. Today, he was simply heading towards another spirit province for an errand. He was not participating in the training, so who could have expected that he would be captured by Yang Kai again? How did this make sense? Likewise, Yang Kai was a little speechless. The sixth-order open heaven realm master cautiously said, "Senior brother Yang, if there's nothing else, then this junior brother will be leaving first." "Wait." Yang Kai suddenly raised a hand to stop the other party. The sixth-order open heaven realm master felt his heart clench at those words, and an ominous feeling suddenly flooded him. "How may I help you, senior brother Yang?" Yang Kai observed the other party seriously. "I'm sorry, junior brother. It seems that my attack was a little heavy-handed. The main reason is that I'm fighting alone, so I have to act a bit forceful in order to persist. It's okay. They are only flesh wounds, it's nothing serious. I'll be fine after recuperating for a few days. Good. Yang Kai nodded. Changing the subject abruptly, he asked with concern, would you like another healing pill? The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master clutched at his space ring in panic. Senior Brother Yang, I already bought one earlier. Yang Kai considered for a moment and generously replied, I'll make it half price for the second pill. The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master was rendered speechless. A short while later, Yang Kai patted the shoulder of the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master in front of him and earnestly advised the other party, it's not safe outside these days, so don't run around for no reason. You should stay at home and focus on your recovery. The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master looked absolutely depressed and answered weakly, many thanks for your concern, Senior Brother Yang. I'll be leaving now. The wealth that he accumulated with great difficulty over the years had all been lost after encountering Yang Kai twice in just 3 days. Thus, he vowed that he would not reveal himself again until the training was over. If he met Yang Kai again, he wouldn't be able to afford another healing pill even if it was at half price. He rushed into the sky after saying goodbye to Yang Kai, his tears scattering in the wind. An hour later, in the sky above menacing Earth Spirit Province, a group of 6 people swept past at a high speed while on patrol. All 6 of them were in the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm. The person leading the team was Jiyu Linga, who held high popularity among all Lang Ya Paradise disciples. Her team originally consisted of 3 Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters, but they merged with a nearby team after receiving Senior Brother Lemang's order. That was why they currently had a total of 6 Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters. The 6 of them were in charge of monitoring menacing Earth Spirit Province and the void surrounding it. They hardly made any stops, their powerful divine senses spreading across every bit of ground. The slightest rustling of the wind could not escape their perception. All of a sudden, the 6 of them turned to look in a certain direction at the same time. In that direction, a layer of ripples spread out in space, as though a pebble had been thrown into a calm lake. Immediately after that, a figure appeared out of nowhere. Somebody in the team exclaimed in shock, it's Yang Kai. Yang Kai has appeared. Hurry up and notify the others. We found Yang Kai at menacing Earth Spirit Province. Fellow brothers in the vicinity, please send aid as soon as possible. The message was sent out instantly. Then, under Jiyu Linga's leadership, the 6 of them swiftly charged towards Yang Kai. Their world force surged violently, giving him no chance to escape. They initially thought that Yang Kai would flee, but who could have known that Yang Kai was only taken aback for a moment but chose to stand his ground. In fact, he even charged towards them with a look of joy, as though he was meeting a friend he had not seen in years. Therefore, they were rather stunned by the situation. There were less than 3 kilometers between them, and their various secret techniques and divine abilities had long been prepared. As long as Yang Kai closed the distance a little more, then they could show him what a one-way trip with no return meant. Yang Kai suddenly raised a hand, and his deep voice reverberated in the void, near distant horizon. The distance between them suddenly stretched out infinitely. At the same time, Jiyu Linga noticed that something was wrong and shouted, attack. Numerous divine abilities and secret techniques burst out with blinding light, accompanied by a horrifying power that blasted towards Yang Kai. But in the next instant, they all witnessed an incomprehensible scene. The divine abilities and secret techniques they blasted outward became as slow as a turtle's movements, pressing forward little by little as though the void had solidified at this moment. It would not have been shocking if that were all though. What astonished them, even more, was that junior brother Liu, who stood to the right of Jiyu Linga, suddenly appeared in front of Yang Kai for some reason. On the other hand, the others got further and further away from Yang Kai. Space had suddenly become chaotic, and they could not distinguish the difference between each other as a result. Nevertheless, this disorder only lasted for a short moment before it was destroyed by the divine abilities they exploded together. The void soon returned to normal, but when they looked up again, Yang Kai was already nowhere to be seen. He had appeared without warning and disappeared just as suddenly, like an elusive ghost. Junior brother Liu is gone. Somebody noticed an anomaly and exclaimed in shock. Their team initially consisted of 6 people, but there were only 5 left now. Moreover, they saw junior brother Liu appearing in front of Yang Kai for some inexplicable reason, only to be punched in the gut by the latter. Their expressions were ugly. Junior brother Liu must have been kidnapped. In the spirit province where Jiyu Pan lived, the figures of Yang Kai and junior brother Liu emerged. Gongsun Ri Hua, who had been recuperating from his wounds, came out to investigate the situation when he sensed the commotion, but upon recognizing the people who just arrived, he immediately turned around and closed the door behind him with a resolute bang. He avoided Yang Kai as though he was avoiding a great disaster. Junior brother Liu screamed, "Senior brother Gongsun, save me." Yang Kai looked at junior brother Liu quietly. Senior brother Gongsun was eliminated a long time ago. "I'm afraid he can't save you." Junior brother Liu had a look of despair on his face and reluctantly said, "Give me a healing pill." Yang Kai patted junior brother Liu on the shoulder. "A wise man will submit to the circumstances." The 2 teams in the vicinity of menacing Earth Spirit Province hurriedly rushed over to provide support when they received the message, but by the time they arrived, they saw that Yang Kai had vanished out of sight. Junior brother Liu had also vanished along with him. There was no need to wonder what was happening. The bastard surnamed Yang was undoubtedly hiding somewhere and coercing junior brother Liu into buying a healing pill at this moment. Hence, they all paid silent tribute to junior brother Liu. A message of distress suddenly came from their identity tokens again. It was full of panic. "He's here. He's here at Wuhan Spirit Province. We have engaged in battle with him. Fellow brothers in the vicinity, please come and provide aid as soon as possible. Ah, senior brother Hua is gone." Once again, they paid silent tribute to senior brother Hua. Junior brother Liu was still reeling from the shock of suffering such a huge loss when a figure abruptly appeared beside him. This was followed by Yang Kai's reappearance. Senior brother Hua, who had been kidnapped and brought to this place, resisted and struggled violently. Catching sight of junior brother Liu nearby, he became overjoyed and shouted, "Junior brother Liu, please help me capture this thief." Junior brother Liu looked extremely awkward as he said, "Senior brother Hua, I've already been eliminated." Senior brother Hua's mouth fell open in shock, and he stood there blankly. Looking around, he saw that not a single teammate was around him. Yang Kai cracked his fists and walked towards senior brother Hua with a savage grin. "Senior brother Hua, is it? Who did you just say you wanted to capture?" Senior brother Hua quickly dispelled the world force around him and did his best to squeeze out a harmless-looking smile. "Junior brother Yang, you must have misheard. I have no intention to capture anybody. Rather, I've always wanted to obtain a healing pill from Voidland." Inside the building, the Gongsun siblings rolled their eyes in unison. Meanwhile, Jiyu Pan stifled her laughter. When senior brother Hua finished buying the healing pill, Yang Kai vanished once more. Senior brother Hua and junior brother Liu looked at each other and choked on their tears. Back at menacing Earth Spirit Province, the 2 teams that came to provide support soon left. They had their own sites to monitor, so they could not remain for long. However, Jiyu Linga's team sent out another distress signal as soon as the reinforcements left. By the time they arrived at the scene again, there was already 1 less person on Jiyu Linga's team. For the next half day, the entire Lang Ya paradise was thrown into chaos. Yang Kai's figure was extremely elusive, and somebody would suffer a tragic fate every time he appeared. The plan that eldest senior brother Lemang came up with previously could not be said to be wrong. Since Yang Kai was so strong that 3 or 4 sixth-order open heaven realm masters joining forces could not be his opponents, it was only natural that they had to merge their teams together. The truth was this plan had already shown some effect. At the very least, Yang Kai was not as bold as before. Furthermore, the teams that encountered him were no longer completely wiped out all at once. Be that as it may, Yang Kai simply became more cunning. He did not confront them directly and turned extremely elusive instead. It was almost as though he had countless soul clones. One moment he was there, the next moment he was somewhere else. What's more, every time he appeared, he would not leave empty-handed. One after another, the sixth-order open heaven realm masters were captured. When the news spread, all the teams were filled with a sense of terror. The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise never imagined that a single person could toy with them so easily. They had always heard about the mysteriousness and unpredictability of the Tao of space, but it was not until today that they witnessed it for themselves. Therefore, they couldn't help but admire Yang Kai's ability to utilize space principles so freely. Jiyu Linga led the remaining 2 people in her team and hurriedly escaped in the direction of the nearest spirit province. When Yang Kai reappeared at menacing Earth Spirit Province just before, he had captured another of their team members. With only the 3 of them left, how could they be Yang Kai's opponents? Marshall Peak, Chapter 4769, Are You Still Human? The morale in the team was low. Jiyu Linga and her 2 comrades rushed towards the nearest spirit province as fast as they could. Only 3 people remained in her team, so it was impossible for them to be Yang Kai's opponents. It was urgent that they sought protection from another team. She had already sent a message to the senior brother who was leading the team at the nearby spirit province. That senior brother was also leading his team here in a hurry to meet up with them, lest Jiyu Linga and her comrades suffered a tragic accident before they arrived. Why is that bastard targeting us so persistently? A Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master in the team with the surname Sun looked distraught. Ever since eldest senior brother Lamang issued the order to change their strategy, their team was the first to encounter Yang Kai and lose their members. In less than half a day, the members of their team had gone missing one by one. The rest of the teams had also lost some members, but the situation of those teams was by no means as serious as their situation. Yang Kai had targeted them over and over again, causing their original team of 6 to dwindle down to 3. The situation was becoming increasingly terrible. There was a high possibility that they would be the first team to be wiped out completely since they changed their strategy. Did we offend him in some manner? The other Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master suddenly raised the question. The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master surnamed Sun wailed, I didn't offend him. Did you offend him? I didn't either. Both of them turned to look at Jiyu Linga at the same time. If nobody had offended Yang Kai, then the biggest possible reason could only be junior sister Jiyu Linga. That bastard surnamed Yang was a notorious sexual predator after all. It was bad enough that he abandoned junior sister Jiyu Pan after thoughtless sleeping with her, but could it be that he was now interested in junior sister Jiyu Linga as well? As soon as that thought crossed their minds, both Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters were filled with infinite anger. The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master surnamed Sun quickly said, Junior sister Jiyu, if that bastard appears again, you must escape quickly. Junior brother Chen and I will do our best to hold him back. You must not fall into his evil clutches. Junior sister Jiyu Linga was such a kind and gentle woman. They did not dare to imagine the consequences if she were to fall into that deviant's hands. Jiyu Linga's voice was gentle as she shook her head. How can I let my 2 senior brothers take such a risk? We are a team, so we should advance and retreat together. The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master surnamed Sun was extremely touched, and the corners of his eyes became moist. Just as he was about to speak, the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master surnamed Chen suddenly shouted, He's here. Ripples spread across the void once more. That was the sign of space principles being manipulated. Besides, Yang Kai's previous appearances had always been accompanied by these movements. Sure enough, Yang Kai abruptly appeared a moment later and blocked their path. Looking at the 3 people in front of him, he grinned from ear to ear. The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master surnamed Sun gritted his teeth. Taking a sudden step forward, he stood in front of Jiyu Linga protectively and shouted, Run, junior sister Jiyu. At the same time, he charged towards Yang Kai boldly and without hesitation or looking back. Then, there was nothing else. Looking at the spot where Yang Kai and the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master surnamed Sun had vanished together, the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master surnamed Chen anxiously said, Junior sister Jiyu, let's go quickly. We can't let senior brother Sun's sacrifice be in vain. Knowing that she had no way to avenge senior brother Sun, Jiyu Linga could only nod in agreement, good. However, Yang Kai reappeared less than 10 breaths later and took senior brother Chen away with him. At this point, Jiyu Linga was the only survivor of her team. She gritted her teeth. Shouldering the hope and future of her fallen teammates, she rushed towards the nearest spirit province with all the speed she could muster. In the distance, many streams of light entered her field of vision. It was the senior brothers from the nearby spirit province who had rushed over to meet her, thus, she couldn't help breathing a sigh of relief at the sight. The senior brother in the lead who was coming from the front had clearly noticed her and enthusiastically called out, "Junior sister Jiyu, come quickly." Jiyu Linga nodded. At that moment though, a sudden anomaly occurred. The void in front of her suddenly collapsed, and a pitch-black hole formed out of nowhere. The black hole was connected to an unknown location and the insides were filled with nihility, causing one to feel dread at the sight. Jiyu Linga's expression immediately changed. She rapidly came to a halt and just barely managed to stop before the anomaly. Unfortunately, before she could breathe a sigh of relief, a large hand emerged from the black hole and dragged her into it. All that was left behind was her startled scream. Junior sister Jiyu, senior brother Dui, who came to meet Jiyu Linga, roared with grief and indignation. He rushed forward in a few steps, but she was no longer anywhere to be found. Even the black hole that appeared out of nowhere had disappeared. All those who remained felt a little lost seeing this result. On the other hand, senior brother Dui's expression was extremely ugly. After he received the message from Jiyu Linga, he immediately rushed out to meet her. He never imagined that Yang Kai's efficiency would be so high as to defeat the remaining 3 people in Jiyu Linga's team in such a short time. At the end, he even watched as Jiyu Linga was captured right in front of his eyes. Send a message. Senior brother Dui looked extremely solemn. The team led by junior sister Jiyu has been completely wiped out. Menacing Earth Spirit Province has fallen. Somebody in the team quickly sent out the message. The identity tokens that had been flashing incessantly suddenly fell silent. A short while later, the energy in the identity tokens carried by all the 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters fluctuated violently and urgently as messages streamed into the identity tokens quickly. Avenge junior sister Jiyu. If we fail to capture Yang Kai, this Wu will never call himself human again. He is crazy. How can he bring himself to harm somebody as gentle as junior sister Jiyu? That bastard surnamed Yang isn't human. Has anybody seen him? I'm going to fight him to the death. Jiyu Linga was not only popular among the lower disciples, but also the Open Heaven Realm Masters. In fact, her popularity among the Open Heaven Realm Masters might even be higher. After all, the lower disciples rarely had the chance to meet her due to the difference in status. In comparison, the Open Heaven Realm Masters were different. As long as she was not in retreat for cultivation, she would often interact with them. The spirit province where she lived regularly had fellow brothers hanging around eagerly just to catch a glimpse of her face. Some would also pretend to pass by and greet her along the way. They were satisfied just to see her smiling back at them. Sect Master Li Yuan Wang once tried to find a Dao partner for her within the sect, but his efforts failed to come to fruition. There was a rumor that she wanted to focus on her cultivation and ascend to the peak of the martial Dao, so she had not given much consideration to her future partner. That rumor gave many fellow brothers in the sect great despair and hope all at once. And now, this woman, who was regarded by many senior brothers as somebody to protect with their lives, had been taken away by an outsider like Yang Kai. Not to mention, it was the same bastard who had previously abandoned junior sister Jiyu Pan after thoughtlessly deflowering her. How could they feel at ease with such a disaster looming over them? Many of the fellow brothers were about to go crazy. They anxiously searched for Yang Kai's whereabouts, lest an unwanted accident occur when Yang Kai and Jiyu Linga were alone together. However, Yang Kai's location was a mystery. He was so elusive that there were no clues no matter how hard they searched. On top of a small spirit province, Yang Kai quietly stood in front of Jiyu Linga, who had a wary expression on her face. Meanwhile, his brow was furrowed tightly together with a very troubled look. Jiyu Linga was also observing him at this moment. Although the entire Lang Wei paradise had been thrown into chaos thanks to the trouble Yang Kai caused, it was actually her first time meeting him in person. At first glance, there was nothing special about him. His appearance was extraordinary and his aura was impressive. Nevertheless, There was no lack of open heaven realm masters with similar appearances and auras. There was nothing about him that made him stand out of the crowd. He did not look like somebody who could defeat so many fellow brothers so easily. Unlike the descriptions provided by her fellow brothers, Yang Kai looked conflicted. It seemed as though he was making a difficult decision. Despite observing her for some time, he said nothing. In the end, Jiyu Linga spoke first. I'm older than you, and I've cultivated for longer than you. Can I call you junior brother? Her voice was as soft and gentle as water, which greatly aroused the protective instincts of a man. That's no problem. Yang Kai waved his hand dismissively. Strictly speaking, all the sixth-order open heaven realm masters in Lang Ya Paradise were his senior brothers and senior sisters. The only exception was the newly advanced sixth-order open heaven realm master, Jiyu Pan. What are you planning to do to me, junior brother? She tilted her head to the side, looking pure and innocent. When she smiled, her eyes formed crescents on her face. She did not look scared in the slightest. On the contrary, she smiled and asked, "Are you going to sell your healing pill to me? I heard that all the fellow brothers who were defeated by you had to buy a healing pill from you." Yang Kai nodded. "The healing pill will definitely be sold. Then, I'll buy one." She blinked her large eyes at him. "It costs one set of sixth-order materials, right?" He laughed. "You sure know the market well." She pursed her lips and replied, "So many fellow brothers have bought healing pills already, it's only natural that the news has spread. If you don't want people to know about something, then you have to do it yourself. Isn't that right, junior brother Yang?" His eyebrows furrowed together slightly. "Are you trying to hint at something, senior sister?" She shook her head. "Nope, I was just saying." After a pause, she continued, "Junior brother, I'll buy a healing pill from you. I'm no match for you anyway, so I might as well withdraw from the training." Who could have imagined that Yang Kai would shake his head? She was puzzled. "What do you mean, junior brother? Is he planning to let me off easy?" That was not impossible. She knew what kind of impression she had on men, therefore, it made sense if he turned a blind eye to her for that reason. Just as she was about to thank him, she heard him speak. "You are not injured, senior sister, so you don't need a healing pill. He plans to let me off after all." She smiled brightly. Although she knew that her charm was not always a useful or even wanted trait, it could be considered a good thing if she could save on a set of sixth-order materials because of it. However, Yang Kai clenched his fist so hard that his knuckles cracked. "Why don't I hit you first, senior sister, then you will need a healing pill." Jiyu Linga was absolutely speechless. "Are you still human? You're a demon, aren't you? Are you joking, junior brother?" The smile on her face stiffened. Yang Kai shook his head and approached her with a serious expression. "This junior brother has always been fair in business. Come, bear with me, senior sister. I promise not to hit your face." Her complexion immediately turned deathly pale, and she staggered backwards weakly. All of a sudden, he froze and looked extremely conflicted. "But, it's not good to hit a woman. Hi. I'm such a kind-hearted man who is afraid of harming the innocent after all." He raised his head to the sky and sighed with a sorrowful expression. Jiyu Linga breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Junior brother, there's no need to blame yourself. I'll just buy the healing pill." He suddenly looked at her. "Senior sister, why don't you do it yourself? I fear that I might use too much strength if I raise my hand against you. It would be bad if I failed to control my strength properly and accidentally injure you seriously." Marshall Peak, Chapter 4770, One of Your Own. Jiyu Linga weakly asked, "Junior brother, are you serious?" Her appearance was so pitiful that any man who saw her would surely feel compassion for her. However, this matter was related to a set of sixth-order materials, so how could Yang Kai back down? "Senior sister, I don't have much time. Somebody might come and investigate this place at any moment. If somebody were to come, then please don't blame me for being forceful with you, senior sister." She stared at him with her pretty eyes, thinking that the man in front of her was quite unreasonable. "I've already said that I'll buy a healing pill from him, so why does he still want to injure me?" "Hi." Yang Kai sighed. "It looks like you're somebody who cherishes your honor. If that's the case, Then please don't blame this Yang for being cruel. Without wasting any more time, he surged the world force and reached out a hand towards her. His palm rapidly grew larger and larger in the field of her vision, instantly covering the entire sky. Although she instinctively struggled to resist, she was horrified to discover that her sixth-order open heaven realm cultivation was ridiculously weak in the face of Yang Kai's strength. His palm that came slamming down towards her contained the aura of death, and she couldn't help wondering whether he actually planned to kill her. "Junior brother, I'm one of your own," she suddenly shouted at the top of her voice. His hand stopped right above her head, and he stared at her with a deep scowl. "What do you mean?" Not only was she drenched in cold sweat, but her complexion was also extremely pale. She took some time to calm her emotions before she finally looked at him and lowered her voice to a whisper, "Black ink eternal." Yang Kai's eyes narrowed slightly at those words, and he asked, "Senior brother Zhong Yuquan?" She nodded. "Senior brother Zhong sent me a message earlier to inform me about this matter." "So, that's how it is." Yang Kai quickly understood the situation, and then the power in his hand surged slightly and landed on the top of her head. Her delicate body flew backwards like a paper kite as a result. She slumped to the ground and looked at him in disbelief, blood trickling out the corners of her mouth. "Why? I've already mentioned that I'm one of his own, so why did he hit me?" He slowly walked over and said in a low voice, "Senior sister, please don't be mad. Everybody has been injured by me so far, and there are no exceptions. If you were to come out unscathed, then you might arouse suspicions. It works out well now. Here is a healing pill, senior sister." Jiu Linger stared at him speechlessly. "Is there something wrong with this guy? I'm a woman. So what if you make an exception?" In any case, he had not attacked her ruthlessly. His strike only gave her some light wounds that she would recover completely from after recuperating for a few days. Taking the healing pill from him, she swallowed the healing pill without another word. She couldn't be bothered to say anything more to him. "Senior sister, you forgot something." Yang Kai reached out his hand towards her. The meaning behind his gesture was glaringly obvious. Jiu Linger was tempted to stab him to death with her sword. Resources worth a set of sixth-order materials were not hard for her to bring out though, therefore, she quickly gathered the necessary resources and handed them to him. Yang Kai wore a big grin on his face. "Nobody will suspect anything now. By the way, senior sister, who else is on our side in Langye Paradise?" She glared at him, flames of fury erupting from her beautiful eyes. "Ha ha ha." He gave a dry laugh. "I won't disturb you while you're recovering from your wounds, senior sister." After saying that, he turned around and left. Inside the void, Yang Kai's expression turned solemn. This training, in which he was the ultimate goal, involved all the sixth-order open heaven realm masters in Langye Paradise. It was something that Li Yuan Wang organized seemingly on a whim. Although he had not interacted with Li Yuan Wang much, Yang Kai could roughly guess his intentions. Nevertheless, Yang Kai never imagined that he would receive such an unexpected harvest. He originally thought that Zhong Yuquan was an exception. After all, corrupting the sixth-order open heaven realm masters with the black ink was not very worthwhile for the Black Ink clan. The black ink insects were so rare and precious that it was a given they would choose to corrupt the seventh-order open heaven realm masters if possible. The capability and role that people like Shi Zheng could play was much greater than that of Zhong Yuquan or Jiu Linger. Be that as it may, it turned out that Zhong Yuquan was not the only one in Langye Paradise. There was also Jiu Linger, and maybe even more. Just now, Jiu Linger had been annoyed by Yang Kai's actions and refused to answer his questions. However, her refusal to respond was already a response in and of itself. It meant that Zhong Yuquan and Jiu Linger were not the only ones corrupted by the black ink among the sixth-order open heaven realm masters in Langye Paradise. There were more of them out there. Yang Kai secretly rejoiced that he had been ruthless against the sixth-order open heaven realm masters participating in the training to conserve time and strength. Consequently, he was now known for his brutality. Jiu Linger would not have automatically revealed herself otherwise. She had assumed that revealing her identity would make him more merciful towards her. Unbeknownst to her, he had another important task at hand and she overplayed her hand as a result. Yang Kai had been wondering whether he should hold back against the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise, but it would not seem that he actually needed to do the opposite now. Following the annihilation of the six-man team led by Jiu Linga at menacing Earth Spirit Province, everybody in Lang Ya Paradise felt a sense of danger. Yang Kai's elusive movements left them feeling helpless while his immense strength left them in despair. In the past, they used to hold great pride in the fact that they came from Lang Ya Paradise. They believed that all the other Open Heaven Realm Masters outside of Lang Ya Paradise were nothing special. Even the sect masters of the second-class Great Forces, who were also in the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm, were not put in their eyes. However, Yang Kai's arrival taught them that there were people beyond people. Looking back at their pride and arrogance, they couldn't help feeling ridiculous. They had been frogs at the bottom of the well, staring up at the narrow sky and thinking how vast it was while knowing nothing. Half a day later, another seven-man team was wiped out. What happened to them was similar to what happened to Jiu Linga's team. Yang Kai would grab one person and leave immediately every time he showed up. By the time they reacted, he had already disappeared, therefore, great hatred and grievances grew in their heart. To this day, out of all the Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise who participated in the training, almost 200 of them had been defeated by Yang Kai. The remaining people were filled with apprehension and terror. Their divine senses swept out across their surroundings at all times, out of fear that Yang Kai would appear out of nowhere to abduct them. They knew that Yang Kai relied on the mysteriousness of the Tao of space, so as long as they could limit this ability, it would be easy to overpower him with so many Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise. As the eldest senior brother, Lemang shouldered the heavy responsibility of avenging his junior brothers and junior sisters who were eliminated from the training and redeeming Lang Ya Paradise's reputation. He was the one who had been presiding over the coordination of the teams previously. Thus, he had always paid attention to the changes that took place during the training. For some reason, he had been silent for the past few days though. Nobody but his teammates knew what he was doing. One day, everybody suddenly received a message from Lemang: "Everybody, please head towards Void Flower Spirit Province. I worked with many junior brothers to set up a grand array there. If Yang Kai dares to show up, we can form a heaven-sealing earth-locking cage and he will not be able to leave unscathed. Senior brother Lemang is amazing. This is great. We can finally teach that bastard a lesson. Quick, quick. Let's gather at Void Flower Spirit Province. Don't linger outside for too long, lest you give him a chance to attack." Before this training began, many fellow brothers had tried to pick a fight with Yang Kai. At that time, they also used heaven-sealing earth-locking methods to stop his movements, but those arrays or secret technique had been activated in a hurry, so the seal was not strong and the barrier was easily destroyed by Yang Kai as a result. Having learned from that experience, Lemang specifically gathered several junior brothers who were proficient in the Tao of Spirit arrays to jointly arrange a grand array. The spirit array that was completed recently was enough to turn Yang Kai into a turtle that was hiding in its shell. He did not know how long the grand array could trap Yang Kai once activated, but even so, just 3 breaths would be enough. A 3-breath delay was enough for all the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise to surround Yang Kai. If everybody gathered at Void Flower Spirit Province, then Yang Kai was certain to head there despite knowing that it was a trap. This was the simplest method to carry out an offense by defending. Needless to say, Lemang had already considered the possibility that Yang Kai would not appear. The main goal of this training was to capture Yang Kai, so if he did not show up, then there would be no game to play. Unfortunately, the current situation was so dire that Lemang had no other option but to put his hope in this gamble. In an instant, the Open Heaven Realm Masters wandering in the sky above the many spirit provinces throughout Lang Ya Paradise began rushing towards Void Flower Spirit Province. They summoned their comrades along the way, so it was a very lively scene. Yang Kai, who was hiding in the dark, could not help frowning at this scene. He could vaguely sense that some sort of conspiracy was waiting for him. Over the past few days, he had eliminated another 100 Open Heaven Realm Masters from Lang Ya Paradise. A rough count indicated that nearly 300 Open Heaven Realm Masters had been eliminated during this training already. Aside from the several dozen 5th Order and 4th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters at the beginning, the rest were 6th Order. The strength of Lang Ya Paradise's heritage was evident from this fact alone. Voidland could also be considered to have a mighty army with the finest arms, with not many second-class great forces capable of comparing to them in the entire 3,000 worlds. Nevertheless, the difference was practically night and day when compared to Lang Ya Paradise. Just in terms of the number of 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters alone, Lang Ya Paradise had over 10 times more than Voidland. That was not hard to understand, though, as Open Heaven Realm Masters were generally long-lived. As long as they could advance directly into the 4th Order Open Heaven Realm, they could slowly take their time to grow until they reached the 6th Order. Lang Ya Paradise had an extremely long inheritance, so after so many generations of disciples, it was only natural to have countless 5th Order and 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters. Be that as it may, that was only a narrow glimpse of the overall situation. If this was the case for Lang Ya Paradise, then how could the other cave heavens and paradises be inferior? It was not until this moment that Yang Kai fully understood the horrifying heritage of these behemoths. After the incident with Jiu Linga, Yang Kai became more and more ruthless in his attacks against the 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters whom he captured. Almost everybody was beaten up so badly that they coughed up blood, hence, the number of complaints grew proportionally. Yang Kai was secretly glad that nobody said the words Black Ink Eternal to him again, aside from Jiu Linga. Although he could not completely rule out that there were more people corrupted by the black ink hidden among those who were eliminated from the training, the possibility was not high. It was certain that the people in Lang Ya Paradise who were corrupted by the black ink were in contact with each other. Seeing as Zhong Yuquan had sent a message to Jiu Linga, he was bound to have sent the same message to the others corrupted by the black ink. That was why there was no doubt that those corrupted by the black ink already considered Yang Kai to be one of their companions. Under the threat of being severely injured, if they were truly corrupted by the black ink, they would definitely reveal their identities in hopes of escaping their fate. At this moment, however, when Yang Kai saw so many people gathering in a certain direction, he couldn't shake off an ominous feeling. If so many 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise gathered together, he might not get the chance to attack. I have to find out what they're doing. As soon as that thought crossed Yang Kai's mind, he resolutely made a move to intercept a team of 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Master nearby. Upon noticing movement nearby, the team of 5 turned to look in his direction and were shocked. Yang Kai. Despite their surprise, they did not wait around for their defeat. They reacted almost simultaneously and hurriedly drew out the power of their small universe. Countless secret techniques and divine abilities immediately blasted towards Yang Kai. Martial Peak, Chapter 4771, Why Did You Come Back? This team of 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters originally had 7 people. It was just that Yang Kai had kidnapped 2 of them previously, so there were only 5 of them left. The leader was a 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Master by the name Deng Kai. His cultivation was extraordinary and the heritage of his small universe was impressive. When the 5 of them blasted out with their various divine abilities and secret techniques, they quickly retreated at the same time, in hopes of escaping Yang Kai's pursuit. However, Yang Kai's figure merely shifted from side to side before he swiftly escaped the barrage enveloping him. In the next moment, he charged towards them. They immediately turned pale with shock. Deng Kai gritted his teeth and roared, "Junior brothers, go quickly, I will stop him." After saying that, boldly and without hesitation or looking back, he charged at Yang Kai. He knew that he could not stop Yang Kai with his strength. After all, so many other senior brothers and senior sisters who were stronger than him had been defeated by Yang Kai. How could he be an exception? Therefore, he did not hope to actually stop or defeat Yang Kai. He simply wanted to buy some time for the 4 people in his team. Only then would they have hope of fleeing this situation and preventing a complete annihilation of their team. Deng Kai's determination and resolve touched the others. One of them shouted in grief and indignation, "Senior brother Deng, go!" Deng Kai yelled, Don't let my sacrifice go to waste. The person who spoke earlier had originally intended to turn around to help Deng Kai, but, when he heard what his senior brother said, he had no choice but to turn around and flee into the distance with the other three. Meanwhile, Deng Kai stood proudly. He reached out to grab at something, summoning a long spear into his hand. Staring solemnly at Yang Kai, who was approaching him quickly, he grinned savagely. I split this mountain and chopped this tree, if you want to. Wait. I'm not done speaking. Take this. Hong hong hong, star. Deng Kai felt his vitality churning violently every time their world forces collided, and his small universe shuddered unsteadily. He had been immersed in the Sixth Order open heaven realm for many years, so the heritage of his small universe was by no means weak. There were not many Sixth Order open heaven realm masters in Lang Ya Paradise who could surpass him in terms of strength. Prior to this, he had heard the messages from his identity token. Many of his fellow brothers had been captured, defeated, and eliminated by Yang Kai. In front of this person named Yang Kai, many of the Sixth Order open heaven realm masters in Lang Ya Paradise resembled nothing more than lambs waiting to be slaughtered. They were completely powerless to resist. Therefore, he had been wondering whether Yang Kai was actually that strong. They were both Sixth Order open heaven realm masters after all. No matter how powerful Yang Kai was, there had to be a limit, right? He also considered what he should do if he ran into Yang Kai. It was impossible for him to flee as the other party was proficient in the Tao of space. How could he escape when the other party could ignore the barriers of space? This was something that had been proven through the defeat and the blood of his countless fellow brothers who were eliminated previously. Since he could not run, then he could only choose to fight. He might not be Yang Kai's opponent, but it should be possible for him to cause a little trouble for Yang Kai if he went all out. At least, that was what he previously thought. It was not until he actually encountered Yang Kai himself that Deng Kai realized one thing: he had been far too naive. The terrifying power of his opponent gave him the illusion that he was facing a Seventh Order open heaven realm master instead of one in the Sixth Order. Nevertheless, the energy fluctuations coming from the other party undoubtedly belonged to a Sixth Order open heaven realm master. How can a Sixth Order open heaven realm master be this strong? Even after being struck to the ground by Yang Kai, Deng Kai could not understand what had just happened. He even began to doubt whether something had gone wrong during his cultivation in the past. No wonder so many other senior brothers and senior sisters who were stronger than me were defeated by him. No wonder even eldest senior brother Lamang is not his opponent. What Sixth Order open heaven realm masters could be this monster's opponent? Senior brother, Yang Kai crouched in front of Deng Kai. Can I ask you something? Deng Kai coughed up blood while looking at Yang Kai. What is it? The two of them had just been fighting fiercely against each other, but they were now talking to each other calmly. Not to mention that Deng Kai was still coughing up blood. No matter how one looked at this situation, there was no denying that it was strange. It had to be said that the open heaven realm masters in Lang Ya Paradise had straightforward and righteous personalities. Despite being injured and defeated by Yang Kai, none of them held any real resentment against him. Most of them simply admired his strength. Their strength was inferior to their enemy, so there was no point in being resentful. Although their journey of growth was a little crooked, their temperament was impressive. The defeat they suffered today would only fuel their motivation to get stronger so they could one day get back at him. I noticed many senior brothers and sisters heading in a certain direction. What are they doing? Yang Kai asked while handing a healing pill to Deng Kai. Deng Kai glanced at the healing pill and stuffed it into his mouth. Chewing with a loud crunch, he swallowed and shook his head. I can't say. He had been defeated by Yang Kai and eliminated from the training. Nonetheless, he was not willing to reveal eldest senior brother Lamang's plans. He, too, wanted to see Yang Kai being surrounded and captured by his fellow brothers. Then, they would drive Yang Kai to the depths of despair. Only then could he avenge this defeat. While speaking, Deng Kai took out some items that were worth a set of Sixth Order materials and handed them to Yang Kai. From the start to the end, neither of them mentioned the healing pill or the materials. It was their first meeting, but their actions seemed to indicate a tacit agreement to keep silent about that matter. Eldest senior brother Lemang had already passed the word around. If they were defeated by Yang Kai, they should exchange money to avoid disaster. There was no need to struggle because their efforts would be pointless. Yang Kai asked in a friendly manner, "Senior brother, if you tell me, I will give you a 20% discount. What do you say?" Deng Kai's expression twisted. This Deng is not such a materialistic person. Don't even think of trying to bribe information out of me. Yang Kai nodded. "Senior brother, your character is noble indeed. This junior brother admires you." Deng Kai grinned and wanted to laugh, but the movements pulled at his wound. Thus, he just smiled with great difficulty. "I'm a Lang Ya Paradise disciple after all." While laughing, he suddenly burst into tears. He looked behind Yang Kai and lost his cool. "Why did you return?" Just why did you have to come back?" The 4 people in his team who escaped earlier had turned back and returned. All 4 of them had expressions of helplessness on their faces. The junior brother who wanted to turn back to help Deng Kai earlier answered sadly, "We didn't want to come back either. It's just that the sect master issued an order saying that we are already ganging up on Yang Kai by forming teams. If all of us were to gather together and even set up a grand array in advance, it would be a total disgrace even if we won. After such a shameless action, he would be too embarrassed to show his face again. That was why he issued the order for us to return to our positions and stop using such underhanded methods. He wants us to defeat junior brother Yang with our own strength." Deng Kai was stunned. The sect master issued such an order. He quickly checked his identity token. While he was speaking to Yang Kai earlier, a message had indeed entered his identity token. It was just that he had no time to check it. When he glanced at the contents, what his junior brother said turned out to be true. Thus, he raised his head speechlessly to stare at Yang Kai. "Is Lang Ya Paradise's sect master your father or something? Why does he favor you so much?" It was not easy for eldest senior brother Lemang to arrange that grand array and even come up with such an infallible solution. Unfortunately, just as the light of victory was about to shine on them, an order from the sect master instantly obscured it with a dense fog. "Defeat Yang Kai with our own strength." If we had the strength to do that, eldest senior brother Lemang would not have done this in the first place. Regardless, Deng Kai had to admit that the sect master was not wrong. So many 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise had been eliminated by Yang Kai, so if the remaining people could not turn this situation around through fair means, then there was no meaning to this training. Relying on the remaining 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters to lie in wait to defeat a single person was certainly a meaningless victory. "Your intentions are sinister indeed." Yang Kai suddenly spoke up from the side. He had not known the reason why so many 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters were gathering in one place. Although he had a vague guess, he had not dared to confirm his speculations. After listening to the conversation between Deng Kai and the others though, how could he remain ignorant? It was obvious that somebody had set up a heaven-sealing earth-locking grand array somewhere and gathered all the remaining 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise there. If Yang Kai wanted to gain any benefits, then he would have to walk into the trap himself. At that time, he would no longer have the support of the Tao of Space. No matter how powerful he was, what could he do against them? Deng Kai laughed in embarrassment. "We had no choice. Thank goodness Senior Li is righteous." Yang Kai cupped his fist in the direction of the main spirit province and bowed in a gratifying manner. Deng Kai took the opportunity to signal his 4 companions. In the next moment, world force surged. The 4 of them took action and summoned their respective artifacts. Using the light of their secret techniques and divine abilities as a cover, they charged towards Yang Kai. Now that they had met their greatest enemy, their only option was to fight to the end. When the light subsided and the energy fluctuations died down, they looked over only to see that the spot where Yang Kai originally stood was empty. He had vanished at some point in time without their realizing. "Junior brother Ding has been captured," somebody exclaimed in shock. The other 2 looked around and saw that junior brother Ding was indeed nowhere to be found. They originally had 4 members left, but only 3 remained at this moment. Deng Kai sighed. Junior brother Ding has been eliminated. Nothing good would come from being captured by Yang Kai. It simply meant that they would be beaten up, forced to buy a healing pill, and disqualified from participating in the training. Everybody suffered the same fate. Even the delicate senior sisters and junior sisters were no exception. When Deng Kai and the others heard that even junior sister Jiu Linga had been injured by Yang Kai, they could barely believe their ears. How could Yang Kai call himself a man? How could he hit somebody like junior sister Jiu Linga? Did he not have the slightest sense of chivalry towards women? On the other hand, the senior sisters and junior sisters had maintained a fairly enthusiastic mentality before the incident where Jiu Linga was injured by Yang Kai. They believed that they would have an advantage as women. Even if they fell into Yang Kai's clutches, they would not suffer too badly. In the worst case, they could simply exchange money to avoid disaster. It was not until the incident with Jiu Linga that they began to lose confidence. How could they bear to hold their heads high in society again if their beautiful faces were beaten black and blue by Yang Kai? What consoled them was that Yang Kai never aimed for the face whenever he fought against a woman, even though he regarded both men and women as equals and did not hold back in his attacks. Thanks to that, none of them lost their beauty despite being beaten up. It was a stroke of fortune among all the misfortune. However, at this moment, there was something that confused and puzzled Deng Kai and the others. Out of the 3 people who had yet to be eliminated, the slightly older one asked, "Didn't they say Yang Kai can easily fight against 3 or 4 enemies on his own? If that's the case, then why did he run?" Martial Peak, Chapter 4772, or Inspiring Momentum. The 4 of them attacked with such determination earlier because Yang Kai had a record of fighting in a 1-against-4 battle and completely annihilating the other party in the process. Logically speaking, he could have gone all out and disqualified all of them from the training just now. However, he had not done that. All he did was flee after capturing junior brother Ding. One person's eyes lit up. Could it be that he is running out of strength? Another person nodded in agreement after hearing those words. There is such a possibility. Many days had gone by since the training began. So much time had passed, and Yang Kai had been constantly fighting alone. Even if he was very powerful and the heritage of his small universe heritage was incredibly impressive, it was only natural for his abilities to decline after enduring such a long period of consumption. It might be that he no longer had the ability to fight against 4 enemies at once. We must spread this information to the others. The first person who spoke earlier looked excited. All this time, they had felt extremely hopeless during this training. Although the Open Heaven Realm Masters in Langwye Paradise had an advantage in numbers, Yang Kai was proficient in the Tao of Space, which allowed him to excel at both ambushing and escaping. Therefore, he would periodically strike out of nowhere and flee immediately as soon as he captured somebody. They were having a hard time guarding against his attacks as a result. However, there was finally a glimmer of hope in their desperate situation. It turned out that he was not invincible. Even Yang Kai could not maintain his terrifying combat strength forever. Everything was thanks to the fellow brothers who had been eliminated previously. This outcome was obtained in exchange for countless resources and their own blood. Fortunately, their sacrifice would not be in vain. Victory would eventually belong to Langwye Paradise. This information was soon spread to every single surviving Open Heaven Realm Masters in Langwye Paradise, all of whom instantly became motivated. There was nothing wrong with their conjecture per se. For an average 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Master to endure such an extended and high-intensity battle, even if they were facing a group of enemies who were significantly weaker than themselves, they were bound to expend great amounts of energy. As such, they would eventually be defeated after exhausting all their strength. It was true that they could recover some strength by refining Open Heaven pills during this time, but how much could they truly recover? Besides, how could the Open Heaven Realm Masters in Langwye Paradise give Yang Kai any time to recover from his fatigue? However, Yang Kai was not ordinary and he was now fully realizing the benefits of rearing living beings in his small universe. The living beings that he relocated from Pear Flower Cave Heaven numbered in the tens of millions now and constantly provided him with a large amount of world force that enhanced the heritage of his small universe. Furthermore, there was a large number of the small stone race in his small universe. The population of the small stone race had multiplied rapidly. Under the premise of equal numbers, the benefits brought to Yang Kai by the small stone race were 10 times that of ordinary humans. The flow of time in his small universe was also different from the outside world. There was almost twice the difference between them. Although Yang Kai had been unable to find any time to rest during this past month or so, he did not show the slightest sign of fatigue even though he had been fighting tirelessly this whole time. On the contrary, he remained lively and high-spirited. The rate of his consumption was simply incomparable to the growth of his small universe. At this rate, he could continue fighting in such a high-intensity battle until the end of time. Of course, there was a reason why Yang Kai did not challenge all 4 opponents to annihilate Deng Kai's team in one go and instead chose to capture them one by one. The reason was consideration for those corrupted by the black ink. Even if there was anybody corrupted by the black ink among the Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise, they would not reveal anything to him with so many eyes watching. Similar to the case of Jiu Linga, it was only possible for him to discover some clues or uncover the identities of those who had been corrupted by the black ink if he remained alone with them. In the following stick of incense's worth of time, Deng Kai, who had been meditating on the spot to heal his wounds, watched helplessly as Yang Kai continuously went back and forth to capture his junior brothers one after another. The junior brothers were on the verge of going crazy. If not for Li Yuan Wang's orders, they could have fled to another spirit province to seek refuge. But, for some reason, the sect master had issued the order for them to return to their respective positions. No matter how they escaped, they could only escape within the confines of their respective spirit provinces. They couldn't even ask for reinforcements from the other teams like before. That was because those teams could not defy their orders and leave their spirit provinces to provide aid. The sect master was clearly giving Yang Kai the opportunity to take them down one by one. Nobody knew the reason behind his actions. All they could guess was that the sect master was unhappy with their failure. Despite so many people being in a team, they could not defeat Yang Kai. It would be an even greater shame if they went so far as to request aid from the other teams. With just one order from Li Yuan Wang, the situation had turned in favor of Yang Kai. Meanwhile, as the only person who understood Li Yuan Wang's intentions, Yang Kai was working hard to cooperate. The flames of battle spread across the spirit provinces in Lang Ya Paradise. Everywhere Yang Kai went, the team of Open Heaven Realm Masters guarding that particular spirit province were obliterated. Every single person kidnapped by Yang Kai was beaten up badly, but not a single Open Heaven Realm Master in Lang Ya Paradise conceded defeat. After Deng Kai's team spread the message to the others, their resistance became more intense. Every single person, who was eliminated from the training, fought Yang Kai with all their strength to the point of exhaustion. Needless to say, these people suffered a harsher beating compared to those who were eliminated before. Nevertheless, they were happy. That was because their elimination was not meaningless. Only by shaving off Yang Kai's strength could they help their remaining fellow brothers obtain a greater chance for success. They were looking forward to the time when somebody could eventually stand up and defeat Yang Kai, and victory would then belong to Lang Ya Paradise. Be that as it may, with the passage of time, this anticipation slowly turned into despair once more. Although the Open Heaven Realm Masters who were eliminated could no longer communicate any information to the fellow brothers who were still participating in the training, they were allowed to continue communicating with each other in general. At this moment, many of the Open Heaven Realm Masters who had been eliminated were chatting endlessly through their identity tokens. We received exact information. Senior Sister Ju's team was targeted by that bastard an hour ago. How is the situation? 4 people have been eliminated so far. Only Senior Sister Ju and Junior Brother Jiao are left in the team. I hope Senior Sister Ju and Junior Brother Jiao achieve success. Kill that bastard surnamed Yang. Ahem. I've also been eliminated. Greetings, Senior Brothers. Junior Brother Jiao informed via message. Everybody fell silent. A short while later, somebody responded with another message. Senior Sister Ju is in trouble. Senior Sister Ju had been defeated by Yang Kai once before. That incident had taken place before the training began, so everybody knew that she was no match for him. Now that he had so many wins under his belt, Yang Kai was at the peak of his momentum, so how could she be his opponent? As soon as that message came out, another message was delivered from another source. Senior Sister Jew has also been eliminated. How fast? What is wrong with that bastard? Why does it feel as though his strength is inexhaustible? Could it be that our fellow brothers lied to us? Senior Sister Jew? Are you there, Senior Sister Jew? Get lost. Don't bother me. I don't want to talk. Okay. Please focus on your recovery, Senior Sister Jew. This junior brother apologizes for disturbing you. At the same time, on the spirit province that Senior Sister Jew's team was overseeing, Yang Kai stood next to the dispirited Senior Sister Jew and stared into the distance. There were traces of fresh blood at the corners of Senior Sister Jew's mouth. She coughed lightly and studied the man next to her with a complicated gaze. Compared to the last time she was defeated, there was not much difference in his strength. Nonetheless, she could clearly feel that there was an additional aura lingering around him. It was the aura of invincibility. Even though it could neither be seen nor touched, she could feel it clearly. This aura was something he gradually accumulated after winning against hundreds of open heaven realm masters in Lang Ya Paradise. It was as brilliant as the great sun and as dazzling as the stars. Moreover, she couldn't shake off the illusion that he could even win against a 7th-order open heaven realm master in his current condition. There were many open heaven realm masters in Lang Ya Paradise, so there was no lack of talent. That was especially true for the 6th-order open heaven realm masters who ranked at the top. Who among them was not a dazzling genius in the outside world? However, they instantly became bleak and dull when compared to the man in front of her. I've never met such a man before. There aren't many left, right? Yang Kai suddenly asked. Nevertheless, Senior Sister Jew understood his question. She pondered in silence for a moment before she responded. Only eldest senior brother Lemang's team is left. If you can defeat them, then this training will end. He nodded lightly. Lemang is pretty good. Having exchanged blows with Lemang before, Yang Kai knew that the strength of this person known as the eldest senior brother among the 6th-order open heaven realm masters in Lang Ya Paradise was quite extraordinary. Senior Sister Jew couldn't help rolling her eyes at his reply. Only someone like Yang Kai could comment on senior brother Lemang's strength so casually, but there was nothing she could refute either. Can you fight seriously for once? Stop using such nefarious means. She snapped in annoyance. Yang Kai burst out laughing. Your teams range from 5 to 8 people. With so many people in the same order gathering together in one place, how am I supposed to fight them all at once? Besides, I am using my abilities to capture those people. How can you claim that I am using nefarious means? Senior Sister Jew flushed slightly in embarrassment because there was nothing she could refute in his statement. To a certain extent, it could be said that he obtained every victory through serious means. There was no trickery or underhanded means to his actions. That was something she herself had experienced before. Nonetheless, she was reluctant to accept her loss because she had been defeated before she could even bring out her full strength. Failure to bring out her full strength in time was equivalent to having no chance to exert her strength at all. The battle had ended too quickly. In other words, the gap in their strengths was too vast. She had no choice but to admit the truth even if she was not willing to accept her defeat. Good. It's time for this training to end. Senior Sister, please focus on your recovery. I'll be leaving now. After saying that, Yang Kai stepped forward and his figure rapidly faded out of sight. Senior Sister Jew turned to look in the direction of Void Flower Spirit Province where senior brother Lemang's team was stationed. Nobody could say for certain whether this battle would allow Lang Ya Paradise to narrowly retain its pride or whether Yang Kai would have the last laugh. Messages began to fly rapidly between the identity tokens of the Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise. Quick! Yang Kai is heading towards Void Flower Spirit Province. This is the last battle. Let's go and watch. We have to cheer for eldest senior brother. Senior brother Lemang will win. Lang Ya Paradise will win. Following the fluctuations of the world force, numerous streams of light took to the skies and sped towards Void Flower Spirit Province in unison. Many had been and still were recuperating from their injuries, but seeing as this was the last battle, they could not bring themselves to miss out on the show and quickly began moving. By the time Yang Kai arrived at Void Flower Spirit Province, hundreds of Open Heaven Realm Masters had already gathered above it. Most of these Open Heaven Realm Masters were wounded. The bloody bruises on their faces had yet to subside, causing them to look extremely menacing. Marshall Peak, Chapter 4773, Cannot Retreat Anymore. Yang Kai traveled through the void and arrived calmly. Hundreds of gazes immediately turned towards him. Everywhere he passed, the crowd automatically split apart and opened a path for him. These bruised Open Heaven Realm Masters of Lang Ya Paradise might look like a mess, but they still gazed at him with admiration. Throughout this training, Yang Kai acted alone. He fought all the 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise by himself. It didn't matter what methods he used or whether the sect master's orders had favored him. For him to reach this point was enough to garner the respect of all those gathered here. Yang Kai nodded lightly at the people around him. Passing through the crowd, he arrived directly at Void Flower Spirit Province. Lemang stood at the front with a solemn expression, giving off an air of dignity. Behind him stood 4 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters lined up. His team could not be considered large. Including him, there were only 5. Nevertheless, each one of them stood at the top of all the other 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters. They had been immersed in this realm for many years, and for that reason, despite their small numbers, they could be considered the team with the highest combat capabilities in Lang Ya Paradise below the high-rank Open Heaven Realm. The 4 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters watched Yang Kai intently. So much time had passed since the training began, but this was their first time seeing Yang Kai in person, hence, they could not help being extremely curious towards the young man who caused such a ruckus in Lang Ya Paradise. When their eyes met, Lemang lowered his head slightly. "My apologies, junior brother Yang." If possible, he did not wish to join forces with his junior brothers to face a lone opponent, but he knew that he was no match for Yang Kai by himself. This battle was related to Lang Ya Paradise's face, so even if he was unwilling to use such methods, he had no choice. "It's fine." Yang Kai smiled slightly. "Start the array." Lemang gestured with his hand. As soon as the words left his mouth, the 4 people behind him swiftly used various hand seals at the same time. Numerous bursts of lights scattered in all directions. Following that, the entire Void Flower Spirit Province rumbled and shook as though the world itself was shaking. In an instant, the space around the entire Spirit Province was sealed off. This place had been transformed into a cage. From the outside, there were no obvious changes to Void Flower Spirit Province. Not even the entry and exit to this place had been affected. Nonetheless, countless invisible barriers had undoubtedly been imposed upon the void. As long as Yang Kai was within Void Flower Spirit Province, he could not perform his instantaneous movement. There was no doubt that this battle would decide the outcome of this entire event. The Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise in the surroundings watched with great excitement, and their divine senses interweaved madly as they communicated with each other. "Senior brothers, what are the prospects for this battle? Do you think senior brother Lemang and the others have any chances to win? That brat surnamed Yang might be immensely powerful, but his greatest support is his space secret techniques. Now that Void Flower Spirit Province has been sealed off by the Grand Array, his wings have been clipped. Without the ability to move about freely, it will be difficult for him to fight against 5 opponent." "You're right, senior brother. Lang Ya Paradise is sure to win this battle." "Hi. That's nothing to be proud of. Even if we win this battle, we only did so by overwhelming our opponent with superior numbers. It's not an honorable victory." This training has really taught me that there are always heavens beyond the heavens. After this, I will have to go back and cultivate hard in retreat. There was no doubt that the Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise were not optimistic about Yang Kai's prospects. His biggest reliance had been limited by the Grand Array. In spite of that, he had to face 5 opponents alone in battle. Not to mention, the 5 people led by eldest senior brother Lemang were veteran 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters with profound experience and cultivation. If they lost despite such a lineup, then it would be far too unreasonable. While the others were conversing wildly among themselves, Yang Kai took a shallow breath and focused his gaze on Lemang and the others. Are you ready, senior brothers? If you're ready, then I will begin. His figure, which was enveloped in an indescribably terrifying aura, slammed directly towards Lemang and the others even before he finished his sentence. When he pushed his immense world force, even the people watching from afar could sense the suffocating aura blowing towards them. On the other hand, the expressions of the ones actually involved in the situation changed greatly. Lemang and the others simultaneously scattered in all directions without hesitation. Yang Kai's momentum, which came from winning hundreds of battles without suffering a single loss, was simply too horrifying. Faced with this pressure, even someone as strong as Lemang couldn't help feeling intimidated. There was a thunderous rumble that sounded as though the world was about to collapse, and Void Flower Spirit Province shook violently. When the dust finally settled, the sounds of world forces colliding with each other could be heard. Everybody scanned the scene anxiously with widened eyes. In the midst of the thick dust cloud, figures could be seen weaving back and forth like fish swimming in the sea. A short while later, two figures soared into the sky. Everybody looked in that direction and immediately gasped in surprise. Yang Kai had summoned a spear at some point in time and was raining down strikes like a waterfall, his world force surging rampantly. Standing opposite Yang Kai was one of their senior brothers. This senior brother was pale-faced and retreating in a fluster. At the same time, he constantly defended against the thrust of the spear with the artifact in his hand. Every collision between their weapons was a confrontation between the power of their small universes. Yang Kai's murderous intent had practically materialized. Moreover, his attacks were so frenzied that everyone couldn't help wondering whether he planned to kill their senior brother with his spear. Under this wanton offensive, the senior brother did not dare to waver in the slightest. He was forced to retreat continuously by Yang Kai, thus, the figures of those two sliced through the sky like two streams of light. Shocked and enraged, Lemang and the others hurriedly gave chase. Their divine abilities and secret techniques bombarded Yang Kai's back before they even drew near. However, Yang Kai turned a blind eye to their attacks. In the next moment, countless divine abilities and secret techniques accurately struck Yang Kai, causing Lemang and the others to break out in cold sweat at the sight. This was not a life-or-death battle after all. They had always held back to a certain extent and prevented themselves from using their full strength, as things would not end well if they accidentally killed Yang Kai. Be that as it may, with the four of them working together, the power of their divine abilities and secret techniques was not to be underestimated. If Yang Kai took those attacks head-on, he would most likely suffer a tragic fate. Why didn't he dodge? With his skills and abilities, he is perfectly capable of avoiding those attacks. Nobody could understand his actions. What happened next shocked all the onlookers to the core. Despite being hit by so many divine abilities and secret techniques, Yang Kai seemed totally unaffected. He ignored all the movements coming from behind him and simply focused on attacking the Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master, who was constantly being forced backwards. The clothes Yang Kai was wearing were his transformed Grand Dragon Scales, and the defensive properties of a Grand Dragon's Dragon Scales were extraordinary. To a certain extent, his Dragon Scales were capable of blocking the attacks of even Seventh Order Open Heaven Realm Masters. During his previous battle against Shi Zheng, Yang Kai had used his Dragon Scale armor to block some of Shi Zheng's divine abilities. If he could even block the divine ability of a Seventh Order Open Heaven Realm Master, then what need be said about the attacks of a few Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Masters who were holding back? Yang Kai might not be able to withstand such a bombardment over a longer period, but it was not a problem for a short time. The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master in front of Yang Kai was on the verge of tears. He did not know how he had provoked Yang Kai, but the other party had persistently targeted him from the beginning. Yang Kai's ruthless posture left him reeling in discomfort. In the face of Yang Kai's frenzied offensive, he only had the strength to parry while being steadily forced backward. Lemang's expression suddenly changed drastically and he shouted at the top of his lungs, "Junior Brother Feng, you can't retreat any further." The Sixth Order Open Heaven Realm Master called Junior Brother Feng stiffened at those words, but before he could understand the situation, he saw Yang Kai grinning at him all of a sudden. Yang Kai's large hand reached out towards him immediately after that, and under the fluctuations of space principles, the entire world spun dizzily. Lemang and the three others hurried over, but Yang Kai and junior brother Feng were no longer anywhere to be found. Only a slight fluctuation of space principles remained in place. Lemang was furious. Similarly, the open heaven realm masters watching in the surroundings were in an uproar. Yang Kai's sudden attack just now and his ruthless behavior, as though he wanted to kill junior brother Feng, had left them extremely anxious. They were afraid that an accident might occur in this training. Therefore, nobody noticed that the battlefield had been guided to the outside of Void Flower Spirit Province when junior brother Feng was forced to retreat by Yang Kai. The heaven-sealing earth-locking Grand Array only covered Void Flower Spirit Province, so it was impossible for Yang Kai to perform instantaneous movement within its boundaries. However, those restrictions no longer took effect outside the Spirit Province. From the very beginning, Yang Kai's plan was to control the battlefield on which they fought. That was the only method for him to defeat them one by one. What is he doing? Somebody was puzzled. Judging by Yang Kai's fierce momentum and the strength he displayed just now, he stood a fighting chance in a 5-against-1 battle even if he did not escape. Although nobody could guess the outcome of the battle, it would be an unmistakably exciting and thrilling battle. Be that as it may, he had fled. Just like he had done with the previous teams, he quickly escaped as soon as he captured junior brother Feng. All the people who had been looking forward to the battle were absolutely devastated by the sight, feeling as though they were left hanging, half satiated by the meal before them. That guy. Could it be that he is planning to coerce junior brother Feng into buying a healing pill and acted in that manner because it was inconvenient if other people were to disturb him? Somebody guessed. Many people had the same conjecture. That was because recently, Yang Kai had done the same even when only 2 people were left in a team. In any case, it was just a conjecture and they could not verify the truth, but the scene playing out in front of them made things clear that Yang Kai was planning exactly that. Just how greedy is that guy? The open heaven realm masters in Langye Paradise were speechless. This is the last battle. Can't he fight properly for once so that we feel better even if we lose? Why does he have to be so miserly? Having said that, a set of 6th order materials was indeed valuable, so Yang Kai's actions were understandable. If they had such an opportunity, it was possible that they would have made the same choice. Lemang remained frozen in place, his expression extremely ugly. Less than 10 breaths later, a series of ripples appeared in the void. It was not until that moment that he reacted as though waking up from a dream. His expression changed drastically and he yelled, "Fall back!" quickly. Having given chase earlier, they had unknowingly followed Yang Kai out of Void Flower Spirit Province. They only realized what a dangerous situation they were in at this moment. Unfortunately, it was too late. Yang Kai's figure appeared out of nowhere. He glanced around and immediately became delighted. "Senior brothers, were you waiting for me?" While speaking, he waved his hand and space principles surged as his near-distant horizon secret technique spread out into the surroundings. All of a sudden, space seemed to stretch out infinitely. Everybody felt as though they experienced a momentary illusion. Even though they clearly saw their 4 senior brothers led by Lemang struggling to escape towards Void Flower Spirit Province, they seemed to freeze in place for some strange reason. Yang Kai took a step forward and came to stand beside one of them. Grabbing that person, he quickly turned around and left. Lemang howled miserably. Junior brother Yun had also been captured. It was not until the figures of Yang Kai and junior brother Yun vanished out of sight that the space principles calmed down again. Accordingly, Lemang and the others regained their freedom. Those 3 did not dare to remain outside for a moment longer and quickly fled back into Void Flower Spirit Province with humiliated and disgraced expressions. Marshall Peak, Chapter 4774, Go Easy on Him. In the short span of time taken to boil a cup of tea, 2 out of the 5-man team had been captured. Only 3 of them remained. Such a situation was something they never expected. They believed that preparing the heaven-sealing earth-locking Grand Array in advance would prevent Yang Kai from using his instantaneous movement secret technique, thereby allowing them to attack him together. It was supposed to be the final blow that determined their victory. Who could have known that Yang Kai would retaliate so fiercely? Lemang said solemnly, "Junior brothers, Yang Kai is bound to return. We only have 3 people left, but we still stand a fighting chance. If he appears again, don't leave Void Flower Spirit Province no matter what." Both of them nodded heavily. Rest assured, eldest senior brother. They had only just finished responding when they detected the fluctuations of space principles. Sure enough, Yang Kai had appeared again. Yang Kai approached Lemang and the 2 others in a few quick steps. Lemang quickly asked, "How are junior brother Feng and junior brother Yun?" Yang Kai smiled, "They are fine, but shouldn't you be worrying about yourselves?" Taking a deep breath, Lemang summoned a long sword into his hand and pointed at Yang Kai. "No matter what happens, I will never let you succeed again. That will depend on whether or not you have the ability." When Yang Kai narrowed his eyes, his figure launched towards the 3 of them like an arrow that was released from its string. At the same time, his world force burst out like a tsunami and caused a pressure wave that was visible to the naked eye to spread out into the surroundings. Lemang and his 2 junior brothers roared in defiance. Activating the power of their small universes, they struggled desperately to block their enemy's advance. However, their efforts were in vain. 3 figures were sent flying in 3 separate directions following the initial clash. Lemang finally stabilized his body with some difficulty. Looking over, he immediately felt as though his eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. Yang Kai had set his sights on one of his 2 junior brothers and was indiscriminately bombarding him with attacks. Accordingly, this junior brother was steadily being forced back. It was the exact situation that junior brother Feng had experienced earlier. Lemang shouted, "Hold on, junior brother Peng." His figure shifted as he hurriedly pursued Yang Kai. At this moment, junior brother Peng was filled with a deep sense of bitterness. When he previously saw Yang Kai forcing junior brother Feng out of Void Flower Spirit Province with ease, he believed that junior brother Feng had been too careless. It was not until he actually faced Yang Kai that he understood. Junior brother Feng was not being careless. The gap between their strength was simply too large. Yang Kai bore down on him from the front with crushing momentum, and no matter how he tried to resist, he could not fight back. He felt as though his small universe was about to collapse with every single collision of their world forces. Under this violent offensive, he had no choice but to retreat even if he was unwilling. He distinctly saw senior brother Lemang's figure transforming into a stream of light and chasing after him. Nevertheless, it was obvious that it was too late. Under the tremendous pressure from Yang Kai, he was quickly forced out of Void Flower Spirit Province like a duckweed caught in the rapids. "It's over." His heart thumped hard in his chest. Staring helplessly at Yang Kai's large hand stretching out to fill his vision, he was unable to resist at all. His previous confrontation with Yang Kai had caused his small universe to be greatly shaken, so his power could not flow smoothly. In the next moment, everybody watched as Yang Kai grabbed junior brother Peng by the neck and dragged the latter away like he was picking up a common chicken to be slaughtered. Lemang and the other junior brother stood at the edge of Void Flower Spirit Province, watching everything unfolding before them but being helpless to do anything. Their expressions were filled with despair. The Open Heaven Realm Masters of Lang Ya Paradise, who had been communicating unceasingly via their divine senses, all this while suddenly sank into silence at this moment. They initially thought that the outcome of this battle would be difficult to predict, but judging by the current circumstances, things were not looking optimistic for Lang Ya Paradise. Be that as it may, this outcome was very difficult for them to accept. Yang Kai had defeated all the 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise with his strength alone. "Junior brother Dai." Lemang took a deep breath. "There's only the 2 of us left, but we still have a chance. Yang Kai will definitely come again. Don't let your guard down." Junior brother Dai was sorrowful. "Eldest senior brother, that's what you said earlier. Then, junior brother Peng was kidnapped. Even when we had 3 people, we were not his opponents. What can we do now that there are only the 2 of us left?" It was not that his mental strength was lacking, it was just that he could not muster the strength when faced with an opponent like Yang Kai. Lemang shouted, "Junior brother Dai, The honor or disgrace of Lang Ya Paradise lies in our hands. You need to get yourself together. Realization suddenly struck junior brother Dai. His eyes instantly filled with fighting spirit, and he nodded repeatedly. Got it, eldest senior brother. Half an incense stick's time later. Lemang stared into the void with a blank gaze. There was nobody next to him. Junior brother Feng, junior brother Yun, junior brother Peng, and even junior brother Dai had all been captured. Such desolate loneliness. But, so what if that was the case? Even if he had to fight alone, he would never be discouraged. With so many junior brothers and junior sisters watching him, as the eldest senior brother, Lemang had to set a good example for the others. Reaching this enlightenment, Lemang's aura abruptly began to swell. The wind and the clouds in Void Flower Spirit Province swirled, and all the world energy in the Spirit Province became agitated and flooded towards him. The illusory phantom of a universe world suddenly appeared behind him, but the universe world was extremely distorted and ever-changing. Following the rise of his aura, the ethereal universe world showed signs of becoming solid. That is, somebody among the crowd suddenly exclaimed, "What is happening to eldest senior brother? Eldest senior brother is advancing into the seventh order open heaven realm. Look at his small universe. It's showing signs of materializing. Ha 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 ha. That bastard is dead meat now. No matter how powerful he is, how can he be the opponent of a seventh order open heaven realm master? Advancing into the seventh order open heaven realm is not that simple. Eldest senior brother probably just grasped the opportunity for a breakthrough and is showing signs of advancement. He needs to enter retreat immediately. Only when his small universe fully materializes can he be considered to have truly advanced into the next order. An open heaven realm master of Lang Ya Paradise who had some understanding of how to advance from the sixth order open heaven realm to the seventh order open heaven realm explained. Even so, eldest senior brother will now possess some heritage of the seventh order open heaven realm. The power he can wield is definitely above that of a sixth order open heaven realm master. Even if Yang Kai is powerful, he might not be eldest senior brother's opponent. That's right. It will now depend on how much strength eldest senior brother can exert. Sect master has arrived. Somebody shouted all of a sudden. The advancement of a disciple from the sixth order open heaven realm to the seventh order open heaven realm was not a trivial matter, especially for somebody like Lemang. Furthermore, Li Yuan Wang had always been monitoring this training, so he knew about everything that was taking place here. Following the emergence of Li Yuan Wang's figure, the hundreds of sixth order open heaven realm masters bowed in unison. Greetings, sect master, vice sect master. Li Yuan Wang did not come alone. He was accompanied by Gao Ting. Nodding lightly in acknowledgement, he gestured for them to be at ease. Only then did he turn to look at Lemang below. Upon sensing Li Yuan Wang's gaze, Lemang looked up and cupped his fist. Disciple greets sect master, vice sect master. Li Yuan Wang asked in concern, "How confident are you?" Comprehending the opportunity to advance into the next order did not mean that one could successfully complete the breakthrough. There was no saying whether an unexpected accident might occur during the process. The transformation of one's small universe from immaterial to material was no different from stepping over the threshold. Only by overcoming this threshold could a sixth order open heaven realm master advance into the seventh order open heaven realm. Unfortunately, many open heaven realm masters failed to cross this chasm. Lemang replied, "Disciple is confident." Good. Li Yuan Wang nodded. "But, before that, you should end this training." Lemang nodded and quickly said, "I will not disappoint you, sect master." Turning his head to look at somebody among the crowd, he pointed with his long sword, "Junior brother Yang, this senior brother is in a hurry to enter retreat. Let's get this over with quickly." Unbeknownst to the others, Yang Kai had appeared in that direction at some point in time. Most of the open heaven realm masters in the surroundings had been focused on Lemang, so they had failed to notice Yang Kai's presence, and it was not until this moment that they saw him. On the other hand, Lemang had comprehended the opportunity for advancement. At this moment, his strength could no longer be judged simply by the standards of the sixth order open heaven realm. His strength was already beyond the sixth order open heaven realm, though still below the seventh order open heaven realm. His words and attitude conveyed great self-confidence. His confidence infected the open heaven realm masters of Lang Ya Paradise, causing them to become extremely excited. Yang Kai abruptly turned to look at Li Yuan Wang, Sect Master Li, with senior brother Lemang's current condition. Will there be any after-effects if he were injured? Li Yuan Wang pondered in silence for a moment. Go easy on him. Many of the disciples turned pale. Why do the sect master's words sound so much like he is favoring the outsider instead? Before they could understand the situation, Yang Kai broke out into a grin. Since you are in a hurry, senior brother, I will do as you request. He shifted his body and charged towards Lemang. Immediately after that, all the open heaven realm masters in Lang Ya Paradise witnessed an incredible scene. Lemang, who now wielded strength beyond the sixth order open heaven realm, suffered a fate no different from the rest of his comrades. He was overwhelmed and suppressed by the storm of attacks from Yang Kai, which gave him no time to catch his breath. In fact, he didn't even have the strength to fight back. Even Lemang himself looked like he had seen a ghost. He knew about the gap in strength between him and Yang Kai. After all, he had been defeated once in the past already. It was just that he was different from before. He had already comprehended the opportunity to advance into the seventh order open heaven realm, so his strength was much greater than before. I can't believe nothing has changed. It was not until this moment that he realized something. He had always underestimated Yang Kai. Yang Kai's strength as a sixth order open heaven realm master was not something that could be judged using common sense. As the saying went, there are always people beyond people out there. In front of everybody's eyes, Yang Kai continuously advanced while Lemang steadily fell back. The moment the two of them left Void Flower Spirit Province, they disappeared out of sight together. In the void where many open heaven realm masters of Lang Ya Paradise gathered, a blanket of dead silence filled the air. Such an outcome was very difficult to accept. An energy fluctuation from the collision of world forces seemed to come from afar before it was quickly extinguished. A short while later, Lemang flew over from that direction with a bruised and swollen face. He cupped his fist and said, "Sect Master, disciple will enter retreat now." Li Yuan Wang nodded, "Go on, but don't be impatient. You only need to allow nature to take its course." "Yes." Lemang nodded. Meanwhile, the open heaven realm masters of Lang Ya Paradise were so stunned that they were in a daze. At this point, the situation was clear. Senior brother Lemang had lost, and Voidland's Lord Yang Kai had single-handedly defeated all the sixth order open heaven realm masters in Lang Ya Paradise. Hence, their faces burned with shame. They looked towards Li Yuan Wang only to see that his expression was calm and collected. He didn't seem to care that his disciples had failed so miserably, which only made them feel even more ashamed. It was just. This training was over, so why was the sect master not announcing the results? Based on his appearance and demeanor, he seemed to be waiting for something. The same seemed to be true even for Vice Sect Master Gao Ting, who was standing by the side. The open heaven realm masters in Lang Ya Paradise were confused and puzzled. However, as long as the sect master and vice sect master said nothing, they did not dare to say anything either. As such, they could only stand there quietly. Marshall Peak, Chapter 4775, In a Panic. In front of a lake in a certain spirit province, Ji Pan rested her cheeks on her hands. There was a fishing rod in front of her, and the fish bait had been thrown into the water. Nevertheless, she didn't even notice when the fish got caught on the hook. Her eyes were fixed blankly on the surface of the water, and she was clearly absent-minded. When Yang Kai came to Lang Ya Paradise, he brought news of people corrupted by the black ink. She could not deny being extremely shocked at the time. There was no saying how many fellow brothers corrupted by the black ink were lurking in Lang Ya Paradise. Furthermore, there would likely be people whom she was familiar with among them. Once these people were identified, they were bound to suffer a tragic fate. She did not wish to see such a scene, but there was nothing she could do about it. Suddenly, a strange aura appeared behind her. Although the aura only appeared briefly before disappearing in a flash, it gave her an extreme feeling of disgust. A sense of vigilance bloomed in her heart. Without the slightest bit of hesitation, she spun around and slammed her palm out. The world force of a sixth-order open heaven realm master surged violently. However, she immediately showed a look of astonishment and quickly retracted most of her strength. Nevertheless, her palm still landed lightly upon Yang Kai, who had appeared behind her without warning. As if struck by lightning, his figure was blown backwards. He coughed up fresh blood in midair and crashed to the ground weakly. Ji Pan turned pale in shock, senior brother Yang, having withdrawn most of her strength when she recognized him. The power of that attack should not have been capable of threatening him. That was why she couldn't quite understand how she managed to injure him. Also, what was that repulsive aura earlier? Yang Kai climbed to his feet and clutched at his chest with an agonized expression. He quickly said, "Junior sister, you're amazing indeed. This senior brother admits defeat." Ji Pan stiffened in surprise but quickly came back to her senses. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry as she protested, "Senior brother, there's no need for that. Senior brother Yang is clearly giving me an opportunity. In this training, the person who could defeat him would receive the opportunity to enter the Five Lights world. Yang Kai had deliberately made a trip here, allowed her to strike him, and admitted defeat so readily. The motive behind his actions could not be more evident. Moreover, he looked as though he had been severely injured. It was obvious that he had forced himself to cough up blood. Ji Pan was certain that her palm strike could not have actually harmed him in any way. With his abilities, he could have resolved her attacks with ease. "Junior sister, you have great skills. This senior brother is impress." Yang Kai continued to spout nonsense without batting an eyelid. Seeing how insistent he was acting, Ji Pan could only play along with him. Thus, she elegantly bowed, "You have my respects, senior brother." He nodded lightly. In this training, Lang Ya Paradise had to win. This was something Yang Kai understood clearly. If he won in the end, Lang Ya Paradise would lose all face. He came here for the people corrupted by the Black Ink clan, not to turn the entire place upside down. What's more, he had gained quite a lot from this training, so he was quite satisfied. Seeing as the person who defeated him could enter the Five Lights world for training, it would not be bad to give Ji Pan this opportunity. It's about time for the training to end. "Junior sister, come with me to meet Sect Master Li," Yang Kai said. "Good." Ji Pan nodded and continued seriously, "Senior brother Yang, thank you." A few years after she advanced into the Sixth Order Open Heaven realm, she received the opportunity to enter Lang Ya Paradise's small source world for training. Unfortunately, even if she was a core disciple who advanced directly into the Sixth Order Open Heaven realm, she could not enter the small source world twice in such a short time. There were so many Open Heaven realm masters in Lang Ya Paradise who were waiting for their turn after all. The elders of the sect could not favor her too much. If she could enter the small source world again for training now, it would be greatly beneficial for her growth. In the sky above Void Flower Spirit Province, everybody continued to wait quietly for something. A short while later, two streams of light sped over from afar. Upon noticing the movement, the Open Heaven realm masters in Lang Ya Paradise turned to look in that direction. "That bastard is back." The person beside him. "It's junior sister Ji. Huh. Why does the bastard look so pale? Moreover, his aura is so weak. He looks like he has been heavily injured. Was he beaten up by eldest senior brother Lemang?" Lemang had returned covered in bruises earlier, so it was obvious that he had been defeated by Yang Kai. Be that as it may, Yang Kai could not have gotten away unscathed after fighting with their eldest senior brother. It would be understandable if he had suffered injuries against Lemang. Somebody's eyes lit up. Could it be that the bastard was heavily injured after a tough battle against eldest senior brother Lemang, and then junior sister Ji took advantage of the circumstances to defeat him? Upon hearing those words, all their expressions became very animated. For a time, the image of junior sister Ji Pan teaching this heartless thief a painful lesson out of hatred born from love came to the minds of many people. They all felt that she had done a good job. Looking at Yang Kai's pale complexion made their hearts feel so much better. Yang Kai greets seniors. Coming to stand in front of Li Yuan Wang and Jiao Ting, Yang Kai bowed respectfully. Greetings, honored master. Greetings, martial uncle Gao. Jiyu Pan bowed. Gao Ting looked at Jiyu Pan warmly. Li Yuan Wang asked, who won and who lost? Yang Kai grinned and laughed. This junior lost to junior sister Jiyu. Li Yuan Wang lifted his hand and stroked his beard, looking at Yang Kai as though he was looking at a promising young man. Although he had already understood everything, Yang Kai's actions made him very satisfied nevertheless. Yang Kai had been causing so many troubles in Lang Ya Paradise during this period that many complaints had been flooding in as a result. If not because of his status, Li Yuan Wang would have been tempted to teach Yang Kai a lesson himself. Luckily, Yang Kai had enough tact to leave Lang Ya Paradise with a fig leaf. Their pride had not been ruined completely thanks to that. After pondering in silence for some time, Li Yuan Wang announced loudly, Lang Ya Paradise disciple Jiyu Pan has gone through many hardships and defeated Yang Kai. Therefore, I will reward her with the opportunity to enter the Five Lights world. The rest of the disciples should guard against arrogance and impatience. Work hard in your cultivation. When you enter the 3,000 worlds in the future, you should remain proud but humble. Don't disgrace the name Lang Ya Paradise. The Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise shouted in unison, we will obey your orders, Sect Master. Jiyu Pan blushed slightly. What hardships? I can't believe, honored master. All I did was randomly strike out with my palm and senior brother Yang spat up blood all on his own. I'm sure honored master knows this fact. I can't believe he is lying through his teeth. Good. This training ends here. Jiyu Pan, come with me. Yes. Jiyu Pan responded. Li Yuan Wang and Gao Ting turned and left, but Li Yuan Wang suddenly gestured with his large hand before departing. Following the swirl of the wind and the clouds, an invisible light barrier covered the entire Void Flower Spirit Province like an upside-down bowl. The light barrier flashed. It was obvious that it was a ceiling-type array. Seeing as he was the Lang Ya Paradise Sect Master, it was only natural that Li Yuan Wang had the authority to activate all kinds of arrays in the sect. Yang Kai's expression immediately darkened as he shouted, Senior, what is the meaning of this? Li Yuan Wang pretended to have heard nothing. Walking out of Void Flower Spirit Province in a few quick steps, he transformed into a stream of light and left quickly. In the beginning, the Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise didn't understand why the Sect Master had suddenly activated the sealing array on Void Flower Spirit Province. However, they quickly understood and turned to look at Yang Kai in unison. Standing alone, in the middle of the crowd, Yang Kai felt cold sweat dripping from his forehead in droves. Numerous figures slowly approached Yang Kai from all directions and soon surrounded him so tightly that not a single drop of water could slip through. All of those gazes contained malice, and there were as many as several hundreds of them. Some even cracked their knuckles eagerly. His face twitching violently, Yang Kai glanced at his surroundings with bright eyes and forced out a dry laugh. Senior brothers, senior sisters, victory and defeat is a common thing in life. Revenge will only breed revenge. When will there ever be an end? The current Void Flower Spirit Province had truly turned into a cage. Without destroying the sealing array, it was impossible for Yang Kai to even think of escaping. His instantaneous movement was completely useless under the power of the heaven-sealing earth-locking Grand Array. Faced with the aggressive looks of hundreds of Sixth-Order Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise, Yang Kai panicked. Senior Sister Ju glared at him and gritted her teeth. You bastard, I bet you never imagined that you'd experience such a day. You were so happy to beat us up earlier. Now you'll know what it feels like when the tables turn on you. Yang Kai protested with an ashen face. Senior sister, you must have misunderstood me. It was only because of the training before that this junior brother had no choice but to act so ruthlessly. It was not my intention. Was selling your healing pills by force also something you had no control over? Somebody questioned. Senior brothers and senior sisters, it's okay if you want to understand it in that way. Yang Kai nodded repeatedly. Don't waste time talking nonsense with him. We can talk after we give him a beating. Somebody shouted furiously. During this period of time, The Open Heaven Realm Masters in Lang Ya Paradise had been nursing a grudge in their hearts. So many fellow brothers and fellow sisters had suffered at the hands of Yang Kai after all. However, he was as slippery as an eel and nobody could do anything to him. Thanks to the sect master's help though, he was now trapped like a turtle hiding in his shell. What else was there to hesitate about? Senior brothers, junior brothers, senior sisters, and junior sisters. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Somebody roared. Immediately after that, a large number of people instantly swarmed towards Yang Kai. Yang Kai struggled to retaliate only to realize that his efforts were useless. Thus, he could only cover his head, not the face. Curling up his body, he silently endured the storm of attacks raining down on him. Move aside. Move aside. Let me kick him too. This punch is for junior sister Gu Linga. How can you be willing to attack a person as gentle as junior sister Gu Linga? This is driving me crazy. Which bastard just touched my butt? You even dared to touch a man like me. Ah. Senior brother, I apologize. I touched the wrong person. Heh. Who were you planning to touch? I wasn't trying to touch anybody. There's another senior brother here who is trying to take advantage of the situation to get handsy. Senior sisters, junior sisters, beat him up too. Don't hit my face. My face is important. It was a sea of 6th Order Open Heaven Realm Masters. Yang Kai himself didn't know how many punches and kicks he suffered. It just felt as though his entire being was about to fall apart. When the people in the inner ring got tired, they would be replaced by people from the outer ring. It was truly a scramble as an endless stream of people fought for their turn. For a time, the scene was extremely tragic. After a whole incense stick's worth of time, Senior Sister Ju finally gave a commanding shout, "Enough. That's enough. Stop hitting him. He'll break if we hit him anymore." That will only break Junior Sister Gu Pan's heart. She was quite a prestigious figure in the sect, therefore, the chaotic scene finally became contained once she spoke up. Yang Kai's clothes were in tatters, and his entire body was covered in footprints. There was no describing just how disheveled he looked. It was fortunate that he had protected his face in time, so he was not too embarrassed to meet others. At this moment, he lay spread-eagle on the ground with an expression that looked like he was lucky to have survived. Senior Sister Ju came to stand in front of him and looked down at him from above. She snorted softly, "Luckily, you have enough conscience in you to hand the opportunity to Junior Sister Gu at the end." They were not fools. In the end, Yang Kai defeated Lemang only to be defeated by Gu Pan. It was easy to figure out the real situation as long as anybody had some brains. It was obvious that he had given the opportunity to train in the Five Lights world to Gu Pan. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.